Today, the St. Louis Cardinals against the New England Patriots.
A cool, sunny, early December day at Sullivan Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts for this afternoon's interconference matchup between the St. Louis Cardinals and the New England Patriots. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Lieber. 3 weeks left in the regular season, and so far 4 teams have clinched spots in the playoffs. San Francisco and Chicago in the NFC, Miami and Denver in the AFC. How important is this game? Well, the St. Louis Cardinals know if they sweep their last 3 and if Dallas loses 1, they win the NFC East. They're certainly very much alive in the wild card spot. As far as the Patriots are concerned, they can't win their division. Miami's got that clinched, but they've got a shot at the wild card. They need some help. Raiders have to lose 1. If the Patriots sweep their last 3, they're in the wild card because they've got the Raiders as the tiebreaker. With me is Dick Vermeil. St. Louis, of course, beat Philadelphia last week, but there's still a lot of concern among the Cardinals.
Frank, they're not as confident as they were as a football team when we did their games early in the year. They've only scored 14 points a game over the last 4 games. They were averaging over 35 over the first 9 games. That air of confidence has dropped. They've been turning the football over, self-destructing.
Well, Tony Eason of the Patriots talking to you the other day in practice, and the subject got around to the blitz.
Well, he was tired of getting sacked. Last week against Dallas, he was sacked 10 times on Thanksgiving Day. Therefore, he's concerned about it. He knows St. Louis has a good rush. Therefore, Lou Erber, the offensive coordinator for New England, he wants to make sure they provide maximum protection, maximum time for them in their game plan today so Tony can get the ball downfield.
Well, how do you see these teams attacking each other then?
Well, I see St. Louis Cardinals, from what Rod Dowhower said to me, the offensive coordinator, they want to establish the running game. Bring those linebackers in, tighten up the pass rush, bring that secondary up, then get after them with the passing attack. New England, as I said earlier, they want to throw the football, but they're going to have to give him better pass protection than they've been doing. Sit back. This could be the best football game you've seen this year.
We're looking for it to be wide open, to be very offensive. Both teams are in excellent physical shape, which is a lot more than you can say for many teams around the NFL with 3 games left to go in the regular season. 2 of the best young quarterbacks in the game. In fact, 2 of the 5 top-rated quarterbacks in pro football. And Tony Eason and Neil Lomax. And we've got ideal conditions, certainly for this time of year, with the temperature in the upper 40s, the wind swirling around here, and a near-capacity crowd on hand. The Cardinals have won the toss of the coin, and they have elected to receive, and their main man back there will be Stump Mitchell, as Tony Franklin, barefoot and all, prepares to kick off for the New England Patriots. Mitchell is in a 3-deep formation along with Randy Love and Willard Harrell.
Stump Mitchell has been playing with a sore ankle all this time, Frank. He's not 100%, but he is a 100% competitor.
Franklin awaiting the whistle from the referee, Fred Silva. He's got it, and away we go from Foxborough. High kick and coming down short. Mitchell at the 12, back to the 20, 25, and dropped at the 27-yard line. Good play by Ronnie Lippett off the specialty team of the New England Patriots. Cardinals, backs and receivers. Lomax will be at quarterback, and he's had some interception problems lately. Earl Farrell, Otis Anderson, the running backs, and a couple of great wide receivers, Roy Green, the speedster, and Pat Tilley, the move man. On the offensive line for the Cardinals, this is a veteran crew here. Louis Sharp from UCLA, Terry Steve, Randy Clark, Joe Bostic, Tootie Robbins, and Doug Marsh will be the tight end. 1st and 10, St. Louis from the 27. Got Green in the slot off to the right. Now he starts in motion. And Lomax goes to Anderson. O.J. is across the 30-yard line up to about the 31-yard line. This is the way the Patriots line up defensively. They play the front 3. Kenneth Sims, former #1 draft pick in the league. Dennis Owens and Toby Williams, an overachiever from Nebraska. The linebackers include Andre Tippett, who has 13 sacks already. Steve Nelson, Larry McGrew, and Don Blackman. And the 4 deep backs, Ernest Gibson, who's the young man people have been picking on. Ray Claiborne, who's an all-pro. Roland James, and Rick Sanford. 2nd down, 7. Cardinals at their 31-yard line. Farrell, the fullback, to about the 35. He'll be 2, maybe 3 yards short of the first down, wrapped up by Ken Sims, number 77, and Andre Tippett, number 56.
Ken Sims on the defensive stop.
Well, Lomax has had his problems with the interceptions after the great start this year, Dick.
Well, he has dropped off a little bit, but it's not all his fault. The protection is broken down. I saw in the films last week that the fullback pass protection was not as good as it had been, and the receivers have been dropping some balls.
He's had 8 interceptions in a 10-quarter period, including 4 against the Giants. 3rd down 2. Cardinals at their 35. Anderson around the left side, cuts back. He'll be close for the first down at the 38-yard line. Looks he's just about right on the marker. Nelson, number 57, and Blackman, number 55, on the stop.
You can see what Rod Dowhower, the offensive coordinator, said is what he's doing. He's going to run the football and establish that, tighten up that defense, then get Roy Green deep, because the people have been playing such loose zones on Roy Green that they can't get the big play to him over the last few weeks.
Lomax currently ranked 3 in the NFC standings. 1st and 10 it is for the St. Louis Cardinals at their 39-yard line. Pitch goes to Anderson, caught at the line of scrimmage. Be no gain on that play. Andre Tippett, number 56, and we're going to be seeing a lot of him because they're likening him to a young Lawrence Taylor. He can really play the game.
Well, he also is a down lineman in the nickel 4-man line rush. He's an outstanding football player, a big guy, Frank. This guy is 6'3", 240. The other linebacker, Don Blackman, at 6'3", 235. These two guys, to me, what I've seen on film, are the best pair of outside backers I've seen all year.
2nd and 10 for the Cardinals at their 39-yard line. Tilley to the left side, Roy Green to the right up at the top of your screen. Still working on the ground game, and they've got some running room. Out across the 45 to the 47 goes Ernest Anderson before Raymond Claiborne comes up from the right corner to make the stop.
That was the famous little Washington Redskin counter that we see every weekend. Every team has copied that play and runs it efficiently. And when you give the ball to Otis Anderson, you're giving the ball to one of the better backs in football. A guy that's rushed already this year for over 900 yards and will probably break the 1,000-yard mark today.
And he likes to deal out punishment.
Oh, he can hit you. He's so physical. 225 pounds.
3rd down, Cardinals need 3 for the first down. They're at their 47-yard line. Opening possession of the ball game. Lomax from the shotgun. In trouble. He has the first. 50 down to the 45 to the 44-yard line of the New England Patriots before Steve Nelson, the defensive co-captain, number 57, wraps him up. Not known as a scrambler.
Not known as a scrambler, but he does a pretty good job. He scrambled 23 times for an average of 5.5 yards per scramble. That's pretty good. Now you're going to see him in the shotgun back there 6 yards. He gets good protection. There's no rush in front of him. You see the lineman working in front of him. He's looking to his left. Defense does a nice job. Randy Clark, 64, the center, does a nice job on the nose. There's a big hole in there, and you people sitting on the couches at home would like to run in a hole that big.
1st and 10 for the Cardinals at the Patriot 44. One-back set with O.J. Anderson, the ball carrier, and taken down behind the line of scrimmage. We've got a flag thrown over on the far side as Toby Williams, the right end, blew through there. 10th round draft choice out of Nebraska, whose brother is a linebacker with the Detroit Lions. First penalty marker of the day, and Fred Silva will tell you what it's all about. Illegal procedure against the St. Louis Cardinals. Of course, they had a loss that was maybe 3 yards on the play, so
they might refuse the penalty.
Illegal shift. Refused. 2nd down.
Yeah, that's a good call by the defense.
We're on the 46.
Toby Williams must have beaten Louis Sharp on a slant to the inside and got into the backfield cleanly that time.
Kevin Ellert of Everett, the administration.
Cardinals now looking at a 2nd down and 13 from the Patriot 46. Game is about 5 minutes old, no score. In fact, the Cardinals have held the football since the opening kickoff.
A lot of shifting going on, Frank.
Lomax putting it in the air for the first time to Anderson. 45, 40, 35, 30, and O.J. Anderson has a first down at the Patriot 28-yard line. Larry McGrew, number 50, making the stop for the Patriots.
Really well executed screenplay by the quarterback, Neil Lomax, and Terry Steve, the offensive left guard, number 68. Now you'll see Neil drop back there. See 68 in the middle of your screen. Now watch him sneak out on the screen. He has the kick out block. The ball is thrown. Otis puts it away, number 32. Now watch that block right there. Nice job on Don Blackman. Now here comes the big guy at 225 pounds running upfield.
O.J. Anderson a lot healthier this late in the season than we've seen him for several years. 18-yard pickup on that play, and the Cardinals want some more and go to Earl Farrell, the fullback, and he looks like he may have another first down at the 18-yard line. First score of the day, that will be San Francisco and Atlanta coming up in Atlanta, where the Falcons having all kinds of problems and lead San Francisco 3-0.
Well, San Francisco has cinched their division, and they're already in the playoffs, and it's a little tough to get that mental edge as it, is prior to that cinching that division, Frank. It's a little tougher to play well. 23-yard field goal by Mick Luckers. It is second down, less than a yard for the first down. Cardinals at the 19-yard line of the Patriots. Farrell, the fullback, is the man in motion. Anderson for the first down and some more as he moves it inside the 15 down to the 12-yard line. Andre Tippett and Rick Sanford in the stop. Very impressive opening drive here. They're doing a nice job. They're running at him. Now take a look at this from the end zone. Watch both the left guard here, number 68. See him pull the running back 32, Otis, jumps back to his left, and he's counter move. Nice kick out block in there. Louis Sharp, number 67, moves up in there, does a nice job of executing a counter play. First down. Watch the blocks on the right side. They block down. Nice block there by Doug Marsh, number 80, on Ken Sims, number 77. Come on, Sims, you got to fight harder than that.
Ball is at the 12-yard line. Farrell to about the 10 for a pickup of 2. So the Cardinals looking at 2nd and 8, and the Cardinal offense needs a confidence-building drive here.
They really do. Their confidence, as I said in the opening, has dropped a little bit from our first time of being around him, and this guy is the guy that'll get him going. I really believe he's the up-and-coming #1 quarterback in football, along with Dan Marino.
There's quite a difference between talking to Lomax before the first Dallas game, which we did, and talking to him this weekend.
Seems a little bit more subdued. Not as much confidence.
Second down, let's call it 9, needed for the first down from the 10-yard line. Cardinals have to get to the 2 to pick up the first. They've been running the ball well on this drive, and that's Stump Mitchell, who's come into the game for the first time and carries it inside the 5 to about the 3. He's going to be a little bit short of the yardage needed for the first down. Rick Sanford, number 25.
That Stump Mitchell is the second leader in the league in terms of average per carry. He's averaging 5.9 yards every time he runs the football. That's a lot of yards, Frank.
Hokie Gaijan of New Orleans is the only runner with an average better than that. And Stump, of course, is healthy for the first time in some time for the Cardinals. Third down. We'll call it 2, needed for the first down. The ball is just outside the 3-yard line.
It looks like to me, Frank, that they have 2 downs here to make the first down, because they can make the first down before they score.
Randy Love in the backfield, and that's Love on the carry fighting for the first down. And he may be a little bit short. He took it inside the 2.
New England's defense has been very good down inside this goal line in the pass, Frank. Remember, earlier in the year, they were really shutting people down. Here you can see, now watch the quarterback reverse pivot, hand it to number 40. Randy Love, he's going to bang up inside there, getting a couple nice blocks. Number 70, it's number 70, that's Luther Hinson, the nose guard, came over and polished him off.
This is close enough for measurement.
I don't think they made it.
No, they're short by, 2 feet, maybe 2.5.
New England's chances of stopping them here are good based on past performances. They've done a good job.
This early in the game, would you go for it or take the cinch 3 points?
I'd go for it. I'd go ahead and get the first down. Hell with it. And I think that's how Hannafin feels. In talking to him last night, he was really fired up last night.
Jim Hannafin, the head coach of the St. Louis Cardinals, looking on. And the Cardinals will go for it on 4th down and less than a yard from the 2-yard line of the New England Patriots. St. Louis on 4th down has converted 7 out of 12, so slightly over 50%. Stump Mitchell remaining. He's got the first down, I believe, did not get the touchdown.
You know what confuses me as a coach there is you give the ball to Stump Mitchell when you have a 225-pound running back to carry that ball. I guess it just worked out that way substitution-wise. There's a big difference in physical strength between Stump and Otis Anderson.
First and goal to go for St. Louis.
No need even for measurement here. It's a first and goal to go for the St. Louis Cardinals at the 1-yard line. And, of course, they didn't go right up the middle like you normally would go in that.
No, they did a nice job. The play was well executed, and it was actually really well defense. But, you know, it's tough to stop a guy from making that 1 foot.
Well, as you saw, the Patriots called for the measurement nevertheless, but to no avail. It is a first down by a little more than a length of the football. You know, the Cardinals at this point have eaten up almost 9 minutes of the first quarter with this drive. They haven't given up the football yet.
I'm looking for the clock. I can't find it.
On first and goal, Lomax to throw it, and wide open in the end zone is the tight end, Doug Marsh. A 1-yard touchdown pass from Lomax to Marsh. And the Cardinals are ahead 6-0. Exactly 9 minutes off the clock with the opening drive.
Everybody down here in man-to-man. Now watch the tight end on your right there. Number 80 sneaks outside, gets in there behind. Quarterback is on a half roll, no one covering. Breakdown in coverage right there. 57 Steve Nelson is not responsible for that man.
Neil O'Donoghue to
O'Donoghue, who won the ball game last week with a 44-yard field goal against the Eagles. Tack it on the extra point for the St. Louis Cardinals at 7-0.
You know, that was a real good call by the offensive coaches to come with that play on first down, because everybody was all bunched up, the hands in a 4-point stance, the rear ends up in the air coming after him, expecting the run, and they hit him with a little dink pass.
The Cardinals lead the Patriots 7-0. We have 6 minutes left to play in quarter number 1 at Foxborough. Frank Lieber with Dick Vermeil. Cardinals lead it 7-0. Let's look at that touchdown play again.
Frank, the reason that play was successful, this back right in here dove to the left, froze the defender right there, number 57, Steve Nelson. He just steps right over there. The tight end then jumps to the outside in the open as this back escapes, and the quarterback now rolls on out. Now watch this, how it works. All coordinated. See that 57 step inside? Steve Nelson, he lost him right there. Now he's out there open, no one covering him. Broken coverage.
O'Donoghue ready to kick off. As we said, that was some time-consuming drive. Just under 9 minutes on the clock after the opening kickoff. 15 plays and 72 yards as O'Donoghue gets into the kickoff, coming down to Tony Collins at the 11. Collins 15, 20, 25, 30, flag down as he's tackled at the 35-yard line. Bob Harris, number 50, making the stop.
Frank, there's a flag down. I wonder if it was one of those $1,000 penalties.
Well, that's something we talked to Raymond Berry about, and it can be very costly for Mr. Berry. We'll tell you about it in a moment. $1,000 fine for clipping and holding penalties.
Number 30, blocking above the waist from the rear. It'll be first down.
That's $1,000. Moise Tatupu.
Yeah.
Here's the Patriots offensive backs and receivers. Craig James has had 2 100-yard games here in recent weeks. Derek Ramsey about to set a club record for catching the ball. Stanley Morgan and starring in the offensive line. Brian Holloway, John Hanna, Guy Morris, Ron Wooten, Darrell Haley, and Lynn Dawson. Morris starting at center in place of the normal starter, Pete Brock, who's had some injury problems. On first down, James trying to get outside, hammered as he crosses the line of scrimmage after picking up a yard, maybe 2. Former SMU All-American. As we look at the Cardinals defensive line, the Dinosaurs, the 4-man defensive line. Cardinals are among those who use it. Baker, Dardar, Galloway, and Greer, with Dardar filling in for Mark Duda, who's out for the year with a injury. The linebacking crew, Howard Jr. and Baker, and EJ had a 17-tackle day against Philadelphia last week. And the deep backs, Lionel Washington, Wayne Smith, Leonard Smith, and Benny Parrott. Second down 8. Patriots at their 22-yard line. They go with the one-back offense with Craig James, the only back. Eason going to Lynn Dawson, the tight end, over the middle for the first down at the 32-yard line. Charlie Baker making the stop. Now for an NFL Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Frank, the Dallas Cowboys strike first on the Philadelphia Eagles. The defensive unit did it. Joe Pisarcik intercepted here by Dennis Thurman. 38 yards for the touchdown. Cowboys over the Eagles right now, 7-0. Let's go back to Frank and Dick.
It's a very big game, and a game that's certainly being watched with interest by the Cardinals and their fans. They need a Dallas loss, at least one, in the last 3 games. James takes the handoff, trying to go left, and E.J. Jr. wraps him up behind the line of scrimmage at the 31-yard line. So the door wasn't open right, and it wasn't open left either.
That was a counter play, but you know, E.J. Jr. made the second stop in a row. Just really maintaining the pattern of last week's game. Going to make every tackle. He was fired up last night.
Oh,
when we
was he
visited
ever?
with him.
You know, he says he'd like to be really playing in a three-man line where he'd have a chance, like Tippett and Lawrence Taylor, to get a lot of sacks.
To rush the player because he thinks he could get after the quarterback pretty good. He's got a lot of confidence.
2nd down and 12 for the Patriots at their 31. Eason to throw it. Rolling out right, looking downfield for Stephen Starring. He's behind Smith, and he drops the ball at the 20-yard line. It was Lionel Washington back there with Stephen Starring. Looked like it bounced off his shoulder pad.
Either that or he hit it with his left hand as he turned back to look. I couldn't quite tell, but he had him beat.
31.
Here it is now. See him right there. It did come off his shoulder pad. Evidently, he just overran the ball a little bit. Lost contact with it.
That was 6 points for the Patriots. There's Raymond Berry, who has come on at mid-season to become the head coach of the New England Patriots under most unusual circumstances. Normally, when a coach gets fired, you come up with a guy on your staff for the rest of the year. But the Patriots doing it a little different. 3rd and 12 for the Patriots at their 31 after the drop touchdown pass by Starring. Eason goes with the delay. James lost the ball. It's stolen. It's a touchdown for the St. Louis Cardinals as cruising in with his linebacker, Thomas Howard. It was a hit by E.J. Jr. that caused it. And Howard came up with the loose football and ran it in for 6 points. And suddenly, the Patriots find themselves in a 13-0 hole. Thomas Howard, who was picked up in the trade from Kansas City prior to the start of the season. O'Donohue is on, and he's got everything he needs except a holder. He needs a holder.
Where are you? Where are you, holder? Here he comes. He's getting excited. Hurry up, get out there.
Where is my holder, says Neil O'Donohue.
It's normally Benny Perrin.
Perrin was injured. That's the reason he's not in there.
You're going to see this is a draw play. Now the quarterback right in the middle of the screen, number 11, Eason's fake the pass, hands off the draw. There it is. And there comes E.J. Jr., who dogged right up inside and stripped Craig James, number 32, of the ball. Now, there you go. Thomas Howard picks it up. But you know, this guy was a state hurdle champion in high school. He can run like a deer. Touchdown.
Benny Perrin was injured on that play, and that's the reason he wasn't in there. He's on the bench getting medical attention right now, and they'll have to use a backup holder who'll be Carl Birdsong, the punter. Cardinals have called timeout. We'll be back in Foxborough in just a moment. Benny Perrin of the Cardinals, the safety who calls the defensive signals, leaving the field as he was shaken up on that touchdown play. A 29-yard touchdown return by this man, Thomas Howard of the St. Louis Cardinals. And O'Donohue now finally will get a chance to try that extra point, and the holder will be the punter, Carl Birdsong. There it is, 14-0 St. Louis. And I would say E.J. Jr. is off to a very good start. They haven't been able to stop him yet.
He'd had 2 tackles in a row. Now you're going to see E.J. Jr. right here. He's going to make a stunt. The defensive lineman right here is going to slant off. Al Baker, number right here, is going to come off this way, and he's going to open the gap and watch his left hand take on the running back and strip the ball. Here he goes. Now here he comes. See him dogging up there, number 54, E.J. Now watch his left arm. Boom, he hits the ball, knocks it out. Therefore, bouncing over there, Thomas Howard picks it up, number 59 right now. Now he's a sprinter. He outruns Derek Ramsey, number 88, in for the touchdown. Boy, is that disheartening to the team that happens to.
Well, the Patriots in a hole here with 3 minutes and 36 seconds left to play in the opening period, and Howard's still doing a little celebrating over in the sidelines. Got one, he wants another one now, I'm sure. That's his first fumble recovery of the year, and it is worth 6 points. And O'Donohue now getting ready to kick off. Patriots will have Tony Collins deep. Now here's Collins, a Pro Bowler for 3 years, and after they were playing Craig James as much as they were, he went to the specialty teams coach.
Yeah, he volunteered to do this. Yes. He volunteered. He says, I'm not playing a lot. Let me contribute by returning kickoffs. I'm good at it, and he's proved that he's good at it. He's been averaging almost 24 yards a kickoff return.
They've been alternating 3 backs, Collins and Craig James, who you saw, and Moise Tutupu. and each has about the same rushing yardage on the year and number of carries. Collins fields this one at the 14, across the 20, stepping his way up to about the 24-yard line. And the Patriots will put it in play there for the second time this afternoon, trailing 14-0 late in the first quarter. We are in New England, as you can tell by that pastoral scene just outside of Sullivan Stadium here in Foxborough. Cardinals leading 14-0 as we take a look at other scores. San Francisco now in front of Atlanta by a score of 7-3 in the first period. Buffalo, a 7-yard touchdown run by Greg Bell, leading Indianapolis 7-0. Pittsburgh has a field goal head start on the Houston Oilers 3-0, and Cincinnati over Cleveland 7-0. Those are all first quarter scores. There's Jim Hanifin, the head coach of the Cardinals. Got to be very happy the way both his offense and his defense has started this game.
Yeah, the turnovers are going his way right now rather than going the other way.
Hard to believe the Cardinals have lost 19 turnovers in a period of 4 games. Eason throwing on first down, and he wants all of it, and he goes long for Starring. Recall on the previous series, Starring dropped the long throw down the right sideline. This one down the left sideline. And it's obvious pass protection is a big deal.
Watch the left side of the offensive line there now. 73, 76. Look at these guys doing a nice job. Hannah, Brian Holloway, 76. This is what they said they had to do. Give him time to take advantage of that one-on-one coverage. And actually, Frank had the man beat deep. He just didn't get him the ball. It almost looked like the wind caught the ball down there.
2nd and 10 for the New England Patriots at their 24-yard line. 3 minutes, 21 seconds left to play in the opening period. Again, they go with the one-back set, and that one-back is Craig James, who takes the handoff, and James breaks a tackle at the 40, 50, 40, 20, 10, 5, and down to the 3. 73 yards by Craig James. On that burst up the middle, showing his great strength and his speed as well.
Take a look. See the guard pulling right there, number 73. He misses the block, but there's still a hole inside. EJ 54 overruns the play. He gets the pads down, breaks off, and he's into the open. Now it's a foot race. I didn't realize Craig Jesse James was this fast. You can see Griffin, number 35, chasing him. He's catching him right there. Boy, it's hard to run that fast when you're being chased, Frank.
Lionel Washington with a touchdown saving.
Here's another shot. See that hole? Al Baker missed the play right there. Just good power, good balance. People quit on it right there. Here comes Griffin, number 35. Look at this. You don't see a run that long very often in pro football.
1st and goal to go. That certainly has brought the crowd alive here in New England. The handoff is to Collins, who has come into the lineup. Craig James is giving a breather after the longest run of his NFL career. And the longest run from scrimmage for the Patriots this year, a 73-yarder.
I'll bet that's close to a record for New England. There aren't many people that run the ball that far.
He is rather amazing because he looks almost like a fullback, but he's got that deceptive speed.
Has good speed.
2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. Two-back setter with Tatupu and Collins, and Collins is really battered as he hit the line of scrimmage. Great surge that time by the defense of the Cardinals, and Lionel Washington, number 48, was in there to lead the way.
Now here's a ground level shot. Look how intense. Now watch the defensive lineman down in there low. You're going to see a little defensive back come in here and make a great stick. Number 48 right there. Lionel Washington sticks this guy and puts him on his back, and he's playing with a sore shoulder.
It is 3rd and goal to go. Again, Tatupu, number 30, and Collins, number 33, behind Tony Eason. Eason wants to throw for the touchdown. In trouble behind the line, and has to throw it out of the end zone.
Shouldn't have waited to 3rd down to throw it, I don't think, Frank.
Well, he paid for it. He took a pretty good shot as well. Ramsey, the tight end, was the closest man to him.
Here he is. It's a little play action. Now he's going to roll to the right of the screen. See him, number 11, Tony Eason. He's out there clean right now. Now here comes 65, David Galloway. Good movement on his part. Gets the heat on him. He had to throw the ball away.
All right, 4th down. They're going to go for the field goal. Would you go for the touchdown here?
I think I would when you're down 14 to nothing. You know?
44 seconds left in the quarter. Franklin has had an excellent year. This will be like kicking an extra point.
He has never missed a field goal in his career from this distance. Not even when I was coaching him.
Well, the Patriots get 3 out of it. Fans don't like it. They would have loved to see New England go for the touchdown. Down 14 to nothing. It's 14-3. Cardinals lead the Patriots.
Monday.
Cardinals leading 14-3, and again, as Benny Parent comes back on the field, getting the shoulder pads back on, he suffered some type of clavicle injury. What if that 4th and 2 call might come back to haunt the Patriots?
It can, but I can understand them doing it. 2 yards on 4th down there. It's really like 3rd and 12 out in the middle of the field.
Tony Franklin ready to kick off. Stump Mitchell is back deep, along with Willard Harrow and Randy Love. The stumper from the 10, across the 20, 25, and out of bounds at the 32-yard line. And that's where the Cardinals will put it in play with 32 seconds left to play in quarter number 1, and St. Louis leading 14-3. With Dick Vermeil, this is Frank Lieber in Foxborough. The St. Louis Cardinals leading 14-3, and the Cardinals have a 1st and 10 at their 32-yard line with 32 seconds left in the opening period. O.J. Anderson bouncing off a tackle, spinning around, takes it out to about the 34 for a pickup of 2 yards. This has been a tough year for quarterbacks in the NFL. In fact, I'm doing a little research this week, and 14 of the 28 quarterbacks starting this week for NFL teams were not starting the first game of the year. 14.
That's amazing. I never stopped to look at that. I've been aware of the fact that, you know, quarterbacks have been going down, but I didn't think it was like a 50% ratio.
Time has run out here in the first period at Sullivan Stadium in Foxborough, and so far the St. Louis Cardinals own the New England Patriots 14-3. We'll be back in just a moment. 7 upcoming at their own 35-yard line as we start the second period here at Sullivan Stadium in Foxborough. Temperature in the upper 40s, bright sunshine. Obviously no threat of precipitation. About as good a football day as you could expect the first week in December. Tilley, the man in motion. Lomax on the roll. Looks downfield, trying to hit Roy Green at the 47-yard line. Green, who has found himself a marked man, certainly, in recent weeks. And some of these clubs have held him down pretty well, but they've had to do it with that zone, so they just won't let him get behind him.
Well, they let him catch the ball in front of him, but they're not letting him get back there because this guy, Frank, believe it or not, scores a touchdown every 7th time he catches the football. That's remarkable.
Cardinals now looking at a 3rd down and 7. Lomax 2 out of 3 for 19 yards. He's had to throw the ball sparingly because the Cardinals have been running it well, which they wanted to do. Lines him up in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers to the right at the bottom of your screen. Lomax with that cannon for an arm, in trouble behind the line of scrimmage. I don't believe they got enough for the first down on that particular play.
Good pressure put on right there, coming off that side by Andre Tippett, rushing on Tootie Robbins, number 63. Forced him outside.
It was Cedric Mack, number 82, who came back for the football, but in coming back, he wound up a couple of yards short of the first down, and the Cardinals will be punting for the first time today. Kyle Birdsong will do the honors, former Pro Bowler, and the deep man is Irving Fryer, who was the #1 pick in the National Football League. It's nice when you have the #1 pick in the league and a talent like this and use him strictly on punt returns, what the Patriots are doing right now.
It's a real luxury, but this guy averages darn near a first down every time he returns a punt.
High kick and rather short, fielded by Fryer at the 30, 50. Birdsong has a shot at him. He is finally caught at the 30-yard line. Birdsong collaborating that time with Bob Harris to make the touchdown-saving tackle. I thought he signaled for the fair catch. That was so high.
It was a good punt. It was poor coverage and great job of punt return team holding up the rush. Right there, he just runs right by everybody. There were some key blocks right there at the point, but the key to it is they held up to Springer. And this guy, of course, Bob Harris, number 50, can run, but not with the league. With this guy, Irving Fryar can fly.
Birdsong doing a good job coming over to help with the tackle, but the Patriots have a first down at the 30-yard line of the St. Louis Cardinals. 43 yards on the punt return. James having trouble hanging onto the football. Picked up by Perrin. 35 out to the 40 to the 45-yard line.
I think that play was blown dead. Let's see.
It looked like everybody stopped for just a moment, kind of froze.
Well, I heard a whistle blowing. Somebody in the stands must have a whistle.
I heard the same thing. I heard a whistle blow, but it looks like it may have come from the stands. You're right, because the Patriots have just turned it over, and the Cardinals have the football at their 45 with 13 minutes and 49 seconds left to play in the first half. It's the Cardinals 14 and the Patriots 3.
Father Lawrence.
This is Craig James' second fumble of the day.
I don't think it was his fault. I think Tony Eason, as you see him going right here, hands it off and hits him a little high, and he's fumbling it right there. See, the ball's out of his hand before contact is made by anyone. There's 62 on him right there. Darter, he didn't cause the fumble. Now they've got it picked up. Benny Perrin's got the ball. He's a running back, not a defensive back now. Again, it didn't look like it was caused by contact.
Well, James has seen both sides of the coin now. That great 73-yard run a moment ago, and he has lost 2 fumbles, one of which has been run in for a touchdown. First and 10 Cardinals at their 45-yard line. Roy Green in motion. Lomax to Anderson, barreling his way up the middle across the 50-yard line down to the 48. Let's bring you up to date on some of the scores around the NFL. San Francisco leading Atlanta now 14-3. Montana with a long scoring pass to Freddie Solomon. Tampa Bay and Green Bay now in the second period, and there's no score. Dallas and Philadelphia still at 7-0 on Dennis Thurman's interception return for a touchdown. Giants and Jets are in the second quarter and scoreless. And Buffalo pouring it on Indianapolis, second period 21-0. Our score 14-3 Cardinals, second down 3. Cardinals at the Patriots 49. Anderson trying to get outside to the 45, has the first down. Ball goes out of bounds, but it will retain St. Louis possession at the 41-yard line. Got 2 other scores for you. Pittsburgh and Houston are now tied at 3 apiece. They're in the first period of play, and Cincinnati leading Cleveland in the second quarter 7-3, and that should bring you up to date on everything going on right now in the National Football. Well, one more. Denver, Kansas City. Broncos leading 7-0. First down for the Cardinals. The officials mark it at the Patriot 42. They have run the football very well. Anderson, 9 carries, 34 yards. One back setup with O.J. The fake to Anderson. Lomax pumps it once. Lets it go for Roy Green in the end zone. Incomplete.
Lomax got decked on that one. I don't know who knocked him down, but he didn't get all his body into that throw because he was knocked down.
Roland James, number 38, was back there. So was the free safety, Fred Marion, number 31. Double coverage on Green.
They actually, I think, rolled up and went double zone, leaving 2 free safeties down there in the hole to go after that ball. Fortunate it wasn't intercepted.
That'll set up a second and 10 for the Cardinals at the Patriots 42-yard line. St. Louis coming in today with the number 2 offense in the National Football Conference and the number 1 passing team. Green to the right side. Pat Tilley is split to the left up at the top of your screen. Marsh, the tight end, in motion. Handoff, Earl Farrell, the fullback, caught at the line of scrimmage. And no gain on that play. Good job by the Patriots defense. You talk about talent in the National Football League. You've almost got to start with New England, don't you? Pure talent.
Well, they're at least as good as the best, Frank. Offensively, especially. I think they're a little bit short maybe yet in the defensive line and maybe experience in the secondary at the corner position. But on that offensive football team, I don't believe I've ever been on the field with more talent than I've seen here in the last couple days.
Cardinals looking at 3rd and 11. The Patriots have 11 former number 1 draft picks. in the National Football League on their roster. Shotgun formation. Lomax steps up in the pocket, completes the pass. Roy Green at the 40. We've got a flag thrown back at the line of scrimmage, so let's see if they bring this one back.
I think it's on the defense. Now, I could be wrong.
Fred Silva, the referee, will interpret it for us. Face mask. You got good eyes.
Well, if there was contact made downfield and where the official threw the ball, I thought it was made as he spun off the defender.
Number 47, face mask, 5 yards, first down.
It's Paul Dombrowski, their nickelback.
Take a look at the shotgun. What an advantage to be back there. I really like the shotgun formation. You see Tippett, number 56, Tootie Robbins. He steps up inside the pocket. He gets the ball to Roy Green. Now watch the move. See that? He gives a little cha-cha step, makes a miss. Now watch the move right there. Great move. And a poor tackle. Great job there. And he made old Ernest Gibson, number 43, missing.
I did not see the face mask, did you?
I didn't. It happened in another spot on the field.
1st and 10 from the 18-yard line for the Cardinals. The handoff, O.J. Anderson to the 15 to the 14-yard line.
He is so physical. You see that? The guy hits him right square in the chest and it just bounces off him and keeps running.
Numbers so far on O.J. Anderson, who may cross that 1,000-yard threshold today. Cardinals now have 8 first downs in the ball game to 2 for the Patriots.
And last week they only had 219 yards total offense for the game.
Well, their offense certainly was the talk of the league before they went into this month-long slump.
Well, they couldn't keep going at the pace they were going at. That was not possible.
2nd and 5 from the 13-yard line. Anderson left, cuts back in, runs into his own blocker and gets a yard, maybe 2, down to the 12-yard line. Larry McGrew, the right inside linebacker, number 50, making the stop. To Anderson's 11th carry of the ball game already. He's gone over 100 yards already 16 times. You know, O.J. still wears the high-top shoes. You don't see running backs wear the high tops anymore.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, well, they're white, but they are high-top shoes, and he says it helps him prevent ankle injuries. You know, gives him the support. 3rd down and 4 from the 12. Lomax to throw it. Big rush by Tippett. He's got Lomax, and down he goes at the 20. Andre Tippett now has 14 sacks on the season.
Now watch Tippett right there, number 56, a guard, number 71, Joe Bostic. They've been strong enough, but not quite as agile. He throws him, gets in there, he grabs the quarterback. He's going to get him down. Hurry up, look at him. He's like bulldogging a heifer, or whatever. Was that what you call him? Bulldog? No, a bull.
Sounds as good enough to me. Perrin is back in there as the holder. He'll put it down at the 26, which will make it a 36-yard effort for Neil O'Donoghue. Kick is up. It is long enough, and O'Donoghue has got it. Bullseye. O'Donoghue hitting his 19th field goal of the year in 29 tries, and the Cardinals up their lead to 17-3 with 10 minutes left to play in the first half. Andre Tippett, number 56 of the Patriots, with that sack sets a new New England club record, 14.5 sacks. I still wonder how you get half a sack.
Half a sack. Good. Normally that comes when someone else helped you put the quarterback down, Frank. But it's sometimes very hard to grade whether it is a full sack or a half a sack.
Well, does that mean that if 3 guys hit him, you get a 1/3 of a sack? I mean, you get ridiculous after a while. O'Donoghue ready to kick off. And Tony Collins on the goal line in the center of that 3-D formation. O'Donoghue's kicks have been high and a little bit short. And that's the case of this one. Collins comes up to about the 8. At the 10, 15, pointing out blockers across the 20. And a marker dropped way back at the 10-yard line. And if that's against the Patriots, and one of the Patriots was shaken up, they're going to start this drive inside their 10 with awfully poor field position. So they had the clip earlier. Now they get the holding call. And one of the Patriots is shaken up, and it looks to be Paul Dombrowski, number 47. who is one of the standouts on their specialty unit. In fact, he's one of their 3 outstanding players who were nominated for the
On the run back, number 67, holding. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
We might explain the Raymond Berry fine story.
Well, Raymond is fining somebody for holding or clipping on these punts and kick returns, but he is paying the fine, Frank. And he said then the player has to answer to his wife.
The player then has to meet his wife. Now they've got 1 holding and 1 clip, so it's costing Raymond $2,000. He put this into effect a couple of games ago, and they hadn't had a holding or a clip up until that time. Raymond Berry, of course, Hall of Fame wide receiver with the Baltimore Colts, who took over when Ron Meyer was fired. He has a 2-year contract beyond this year as Dombrowski needs further medical assistance.
They're out there. They have a great trainer here. He worked for me for 7 years in Ron O'Neill. It's just one of the best in football.
Timeout here at Sullivan Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Big-time college basketball on CBS next Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. #1 team in the nation, the Georgetown Hoyas, and your first look at Patrick Ewing as they take on UNLV. Jerry Tarkanian's Running Rebels, who are also going to be among the top 20 teams in the league. That's going to be a big one. We'll have it for you on CBS next Saturday at 1. So the Patriots, saddled with the poor field position, will start this particular series at their own 6-yard line following the penalty. Eason out of the end zone to Craig James at the 5. Net gain on the play about 1 yard. Not much there as E.J. Jr., number 54, who seems to be everywhere, there to make another stop. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience, and any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the written consent of the New England Patriots and the National Football League is prohibited. 2nd down 8 for the Patriots. Officials mark it at the 8-yard line. Stanley Morgan wide to the left side. They go with Cedric Jones split to the right. And a little confusion on the snap count and penalty markers.
Ball start, number 11. Offense, half the distance to the goal.
So that'll move it from the 8 back to the 4-yard line as the Patriots really getting off to a slow start offensively. There's Paul Dombrowski, the specialty team player for the Patriots, being loaded on a stretcher. Suffered a leg injury of some sorts.
Yes, he did. You know, last year he missed 8 games with a concussion, so the luck isn't going his way.
2nd down and 12. Patriots back at the 4. James in the single back set. Again, Eason out of the end zone, pressured. Almost has it picked off. Thomas Howard, who has already run a fumble in for a touchdown. Could have had an interception. A lot of pressure that time on Tony Eason, who was almost trapped for the safety.
You can see now the quarterback right in the middle, number 11. He's going to set short. 1, 2, 3, 4. He sets real short. Everyone's right around him. He's banging into his own man, 61, Rod Moon. And I'll tell you, Thomas Howard just missed an opportunity. Look at Tommy. You can look him right in the eye. You can see where he's looking to his right. Now watch him step up in there a little bit. He's banging around. He lays it off, and evidently to the wrong guy.
Oh. That was a perfect pass to Howard.
Mr. Howard
hit him in the wrong place.
Great opportunity.
3rd and 12 from the 4-yard line. James to the 6. And the Patriots will punt from the end zone to the accompaniment of a chorus of boos. You know, the Cardinals are putting pressure on Eason, but doing it without the blitz.
They don't want to blitz because they don't want to go one-on-one with their corners, their defensive backs on their skilled wide receivers. They'd rather get the rush where they're down 4. But really, that was a type of pass where the quarterback, Frank, sets up close to the line of scrimmage, and then when he couldn't throw it right away, all of a sudden the rush got there and bounced him around a little bit. This guy, Rich Camarello, is one of the fine punters in the National Football League, and he had been on injured reserve.
Well, he needed the week off after 11 punts. Actually had 10 days off. Stump Mitchell, the deep man. Cardinals should come up with great field position at the 50. Mitchell at the 46-yard line of the Patriots. Good coverage by New England. Moise Tutupu down there to make the stop for the Patriots. And the Cardinals will have a 1st and 10 at the Patriots 46-yard line with 8 minutes, 8 seconds left to play in the first half. Timeout in Foxborough. Cardinals leading the Patriots 17-3, but they're not used to being ahead in the first half.
No, they're not. You know, I'll tell you this. They cannot afford right now. St. Louis can't afford to ease up because New England is so great at coming from behind, as this graphic shows.
1st and 10 for the Cardinals at the Patriot 46-yard line. Neil Lomax running the show and doing it very effectively, mixing in the run with the pass. Anderson, who's had a good day so far. Gang tackle that time by the Patriots defense after a pickup of a couple of yards. Andre Tippett in the middle of that one, along with Toby Williams. The injury report on Paul Dombrowski of the Patriots is that he has strained ligaments in his right knee, and that's what they're checking him for in the locker room right now. Time remaining in the first half, 7 minutes, 40 seconds, and counting.
It's been a fast first half, very quick.
2nd and 7. Cardinals at the Patriot 44. Green wide to the left on top, and Tilley set in the slot. Now Tilley starting in motion across the backfield. Anderson got a hold, 40, 35, 30. Green leading the interference downfield, but Anderson finally run out of bounds at the 23-yard line. First down, St. Louis.
Now watch both inside linebackers, number 50 and Steve Nelson, 57. Now he gets the breaks in behind. See, they step to the left, and he broke in behind him. Now it's Freddie Marion's turn to come up and make the tackle, and he can't get to him yet. Ray Claiborne, number 26, gets off the block and goes over and finishes him off. Nice run by Otis Anderson.
That's a 20-yard pickup, gives him 63 on the afternoon and 13 carries. And Anderson will come out, and Stump Mitchell will go in at that running back position. Yeoman duty so far for O.J., who's not getting any older, but he's getting better.
10-2 and first down.
Wow. Time of possession ought to be interesting in this game, too. But the Cardinals having a big edge. First down from the 23, Lomax wanting to throw it on first down, going to run it inside the 20, and want to pick it up 5 yards on the plays. He goes out at the 18. Well, the battle for the supremacy of Gotham between the Giants and the Jets finds the Giants leading 7-0 on a 1-yard run by Rob Carpenter with 3 minutes left to play in the first half. Other scores, Tampa Bay has scored on Green Bay in the second period, 7-0. Philadelphia has added a 23-yard field goal by McFadden. Paul McFadden, actually that's your first score. 7-3, Dallas leading in Buffalo over Indianapolis. They were ahead 21-0. The Colts got the safety. And Cleveland leading Cincinnati 10-7. Our score 17-3. Cardinals on 2nd and 6. Stump Mitchell driving forward to the 16-yard line. Got a couple of yards of the play, but the Cardinals going to be looking at 3rd and still a good 3 yards needed for the first down. Now the Cardinals have the Giants at home and the Redskins on the road. So they have a lot to say about where they're going to finish this year.
They control their own destiny. There's no question about that.
That NFC East has been some scramble this year. Of course, the Redskins right now have the edge since they won on Thursday. But if the Giants and Dallas win today, it'll be tied up again. And the Cardinals still very much in the picture. They've got the tiebreaker on everybody except Dallas. So they need for the Cowboys to lose one ball game. On 3rd and 3, Anderson trying to pick up the first and doesn't do it. Dropped at the 15-yard line. Didn't like that call?
Well, you know, it's easy to sit up here as a coach, but with Anderson and that, there was a little counter move and then pull all those linemen and that kind of stuff. And in that down and distance situation, more often than not, people are coming up after you. But they have run that play successfully on earlier downs, but not so much on a 3rd and 2 or 3, Frank.
Ray Claiborne making the stop. Jim Hannafin talking to his Cardinals as once again the field goal unit is on. Parent will put it down at the 23, which will make it a 33-yard effort for O'Donohue, who has already hit from 36. He's 2 for 4. Plenty long and plenty good, despite the fact he got a bad snap. Parent did a good job getting it down. So the Cardinals add 3 points to their lead and have a comfortable 17-point cushion late in the second period. Well, the Cardinals, who have averaged just 14 points over the last 4 ball games, have scored 20 here in the first half already as O'Donohue gets ready to kick off. Tony Collins, the deep man for the New England Patriots, flanked by Keith Lee and by Greg Hawthorne. Collins at the 7. 10, 20, 25, 30. Tony Collins running hard, finally driven out of bounds in front of the Patriots bench at the 40-yard line. Well, we told you that we'd show you the #1 college basketball team in the land in Georgetown next week. Actually, you're going to see the top 3 over the next few weeks. Next Saturday, the Hoyas and Patrick Ewing against the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. That is live at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Then a couple of weeks, how about a matchup between #1 and #2 of Georgetown again against DePaul and Joey Meyer, the new head coach. And then the week after that, December 22nd, pre-Christmas special for you. UCLA and the St. John's Redmen with Chris Mullen and Walter Berry from Madison Square Garden. Lots of outstanding college hoops. Collins taking the handoff, and not much room for him on the far side as he is wrapped up by E.J. Jr. and Charlie Baker. For an NFL Today report, here's Brent Musburger in New York.
Frank, in the battle for New York, the Giants get on the board first. It is Rob Carpenter up over the top, and they add the extra point. They lead the Jets 7-0. Let's go back to Frank.
Well, Brett, as you're well aware, that game of utmost importance to the Cardinal fans, along with the Dallas game this afternoon. Gotta love to be the Redskins today, having known that they've won their game and they can sit back and there and watch. You bet. You guys try to win yours now. 2nd and 10 from the 40. Eason again pressure and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Big rush by E.J. Jr., number 54, and Big Bubba Baker, number 60, blew through there as well. Junior he's only played that middle now for what, 2 or 3 ball games.
2 games prior to this one, and that was the same dog they used earlier that raised heck on that draw play and created the fumble. And this time he got the great penetration. It is really tough to pick that up. No, E.J. works in the off-season, Frank, in a care unit rehabilitation clinic for teenagers that have been abusing drugs and alcohol. And he really enjoys that participation in helping those kids.
It's a very impressive young man to talk to.
He's fired up, I'll tell you that.
3rd down, 16 needed for the first down. Patriots from their 33. Tony Eason, second-year man from Illinois. Protection breaks down, and Eason is trapped. Actually, not trapped technically, because he took it back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard beyond.
I don't think that's a sack, Frank.
No,
I think he got across the line of scrimmage. That's a ball. That's a scramble.
So Curtis Greer, number 75, wraps him up. Eason heads to the sidelines, and the Patriots will be punting with 4 minutes to go.
Curtis Greer, really, in talking about sacks, you know, they love to get the sacks, but he'd rather just get the pressure on the quarterback. He loves to get pressure on the quarterback, but he's had 26 sacks in the last 29 games. That's a pretty darn good percentage.
Well, there's so much emphasis on sacks now for defensive linemen. If you don't get the sacks, you know, it doesn't seem like you're doing your job. Stump Mitchell awaiting the punt from Camarillo. Nice high kick.
That kind of a ball is a return ball, though, Frank.
At the 15, 20, 25. That's what he's doing. 30, 35, 40, and the stumper takes it up to the 44-yard line.
It was a long punt, beautiful spiral, but not high enough. That's all there was to it. You could read punt return all the way.
Patriots are giving up costly field position, it seems, every time they turn the football back to the St. Louis Cardinals. Well, where should we go next week, Dick?
We're going home. We're going to my home area, San Francisco versus the Vikings.
Well, a lot of people talking about the 49ers being the class of the NFC, and we're going to check them out ourselves.
It'll give the opportunity for everybody to see maybe the best football team in the NFC, potential Super Bowl team.
51 on Camarillo's punt, but a 31-yard counter punch by Stump Mitchell. And the Cardinals in great shape, 1st and down at their 44. Out it comes to Green at the 50, trying to put a little juke on the defensive back, Ernest Gibson, over at the near sideline. That left corner is the one that they've been working on. Everybody's been working on that.
Yeah, just a little short drop back pass. Now watch the quarterback in the middle. 1, 2, 3, plant the back foot, plant, throw. He's just run a little square out about 6 yards. Now watch him juking here. He's got him one-on-one. Gibson's not going to play games with him. He's going to make sure he gets him down and out of bounds.
11-yard pickup and a Cardinal first down at the 44 of the New England Patriots. Green wide left, Tilley in the slot inside of him, up at the top of your screen, as the Cardinals overloaded to the left side. Send Anderson up the middle, 40 down to the 36-yard line goes O.J. Anderson. Just over 3 minutes left to play in the first half, and again the St. Louis Cardinals are on the move. Larry McGrew and Fred Marion on the stop. There's the time ticking away here in the first half. NFL Today next Saturday coming up right here on CBS, and we've got a feature called The State of the Game. You're going to see how television has progressed down through the years. Pete Rozelle will be on hand to talk about some of the things that have happened in the league. There'll be a new survey by the New York Times and CBS on the state of pro football. Anderson again picking up several yards on the carry, just doing a great job. Great football and great running by O.J. Anderson. Well, the game, you know, has received a lot of criticism, the game of football in general, but I think it's starting to come back strong again, don't you?
I really do, Frank. I have never really bought all that criticism, and they say, well, mediocrity and all that, you know, everybody's the same and all that stuff, but I tell you, it's just good competition, more good teams, not fewer, you know, good teams, more good teams playing intense football. Look at the standings right now. A lot of people that shot at playoffs.
The fans have got to love the NFC Eastern Division race, and we'll find out what the fans think next week. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Anderson twisting away from one tackle after another, and then carrying several of the red shirts with him down to the 23-yard line. Roland James finally climbed on board for the piggyback ride and rode the big guy down. But Joe Bostic to another first down.
Excuse me, Frank.
2-minute warning going to both benches. Officially, we've got 1:53 left to play in the first half, and St. Louis leading 20-3. St. Louis leading New England 20-3. The Cardinals have a 2nd and 3 upcoming from the Patriots 23-yard line. And Anderson with that last carry puts him over 1,000 for the season. He's now at 1,007. He's got 84 yards rushing in the first half on 17 carries, and that's one big reason why Lomax has only put it in the air 7 times. He's completed 5 of those.
This is a game plan being executed perfectly.
On 2nd and 3, Stump Mitchell driving for the first down, and he'll be close at the 20-yard line. Well, you were talking to Rod Dower, the offensive coordinator of the Cardinals, and this is what he said they were going to do.
You know, a lot of times you have these meetings with coaches, and they tell you what they're going to do, and then you get in the game and you don't see them do it. Here's a classic case of the coordinator saying, this is what we're going to do, Dick. If we're going to beat these guys, this is how we're going to beat them. And they're doing it. They're going after them physically. The offensive line is doing a superb job. Randy Clark, number 64, Terry Steve, 68, Joe Bostic, Tootie Robbins, and Louis Sharp right now at left tackle. They're owning the line of scrimmage.
It's a first down for the Cardinals at the 20-yard line. Let me ask you this. When you were a Philadelphia Eagle coach, were you always honest with the CBS announcers when they came in and asked you?
I was usually so uptight I wasn't even sure what they were asking. But I tried to be honest with those people because I trusted them.
Well, you want to hedge a little bit occasionally. Cardinals have 13 first downs, and the Patriots have 2. That's where we stand. The Cardinals with the first down from the New England 20-yard line. Stump Mitchell got a yard to the 19. No flags, but a lot of whistles. Now let's see what these two clubs have done here in the first half in terms of play selection, rushing plays. And that's what we've been talking about. The Cardinals wanted to rush the ball, and have they ever?
You know, the funny thing, Frank, in regard to evaluation of this plan, if it weren't working real well, they'd be criticized viciously for running the ball all the time and not throwing. Not imaginative. 2nd down, 9. Cardinals with the big edge in total offense. Lomax to put it up, looking for Green. Now going to run it. 20, 15, 10, and out of bounds at the 7. First down, St. Louis. It'll be 1st and goal, and the clock is now run down to 34 seconds. They doubled both outside receivers. Now you watch the quarterback. He's going to get straight back. 15 now. The receivers are releasing. See him sprint out to his right. Good mobility. Good mobility. Tippett, 56, is in man-to-man. He can't get off. Here comes Toby Williams, number 90, trying to catch him. 98, excuse me. That is Dennis Owens.
Officials will mark it at the 8-yard line. Lomax has rushed himself 3 times for 27 yards. He's averaging 9 yards a carry.
He has great mobility, though. He's really done a good job.
1st and goal to go. Let's call it the 7-yard line of the Patriots. 34 seconds left in the half. Lomax looking for Green. He's covered. Goes to Anderson. O.J. to the 5, down to the 2-yard line. He did not get out of bounds, so the Cardinals will call time to stop the clock with 24 seconds left to play in the half.
New England's doing a nice job of covering people down there. Lomax went to his first receiver, the second receiver, the third receiver, and laid it off to the 4th guy to his right.
Timeout here at Sullivan Stadium in Foxborough. Back in just a moment. Watch on this defensive replay here, the job they're doing on Green.
They double him. Roy Green comes in. See, now Claiborne has him short and outside. He goes to go inside, and there's Freddie Marion, number 31, bumping him around. They had him shut off both short and outside and medium inside.
Well, that's who Lomax was looking for. It is 2nd and goal for the Cardinals from the 2. They do have 1 timeout left, so they can use that. Coming up at halftime, NFL Today. Brent Nerve scores and highlights, and a special feature on Seattle and Chuck Knox called Opportunity Knox. Love and Anderson in the backfield, and Lomax is going to throw it. Corner of the end zone, and not quite, as the pass was intended for Greg LaFleur, number 89. The 4-year veteran from LSU and a former Philadelphia Eagle.
Had him his rookie year, drafted him in the 3rd round, let him go in the final cut. Not because we didn't think he could play. We knew one day he'd be a good player, but we just didn't have a place for him on the roster at that time. Don Blackman, number 55, the right outside linebacker, did a really nice job of reading that play-action pass.
It is 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line as you see the timeout situation. Again, the Cardinals come up with Randy Love and O.J. Anderson in the backfield. O.J. driving for the goal line. Got across. Touchdown. Patriots are really upset about this call. They claim they stopped him before he got over.
Let's see if we can see from the end zone and tell if he got in. Now the ball carrier is going to run to the right of the screen. See, he hands it off to Anderson right there. Good penetration by Blackman, 55. He sees the hole. Steve Nelson meets him on the hole. Ray Claiborne, I'll tell you, I'd complain if I were them too. I don't think he scored, Frank.
Of course, we don't see that sideline angle.
There's Claiborne, number 26. He is whizzed. He is mad.
Perrin will hold, and O'Donohue with the extra point try with 14 seconds left to play in the half. Boy, it has been all Cardinals in the first half of play. Here's the sideline view.
The ball's going to be handed off deep. There it is. He's got it under his arm. Now watch him turn up inside. Now let's locate the goal line. Let's see if he makes it. There's the goal line. I'll tell you, he hadn't made it yet. There, he got it on the line. The ball's on the goal line. He scored. He scored. He got it in there. Great camera shot right there by our technicians.
Now, it's amazing what a different angle will show you. From that end zone angle, look for all the world like he didn't get close.
I know it. That's why I was wrong so many times when I chewed on those officials standing on the 50-yard line. I'd cuss them up one side, down the other. Then I get the film on Monday and I'm embarrassed. Sometimes I was right.
Tell you what a good job the Cardinals defense has been doing. We've been talking about the Cardinals offense coming back to life. Beside the 73-yard run by Craig James in the first quarter, the Patriots have 10 yards total offense in the first half.
Well, they have too much talent to stay that way this second half. But Floyd Peters and his defensive staff, Tom Bettis and Rudy Feldman, Chuck Banker and Leon McLaughlin as the special assistants have done a real good job of preparing these guys.
Tony Collins is deep. High kick and very, very short coming down to Keith Lee at the 18. Lee across the 25 to the 30-yard line. Patriots have all 3 of their timeouts left, but that's not going to help them much with only 10 seconds left to play in the first half. Again, keep in mind the NFL Today halftime coming up with Brent and Irv. Scores and highlights. And that little feature there, I think, kind of speaks for itself. It's a feature on the head coach of Seattle, who's had such a great job. Old friend of yours, Chuck Knox.
I wish I could participate in that feature because I could tell some stories on Chuck Knox that may not normally get on the air.
Well,
he is super football coach. Ranks him with the Don Chulos, the Tom Landrys, any of them. Chuck Knowles, he's in their class.
He's done an amazing job this year. Eason trapped back at the 23-yard line. And unless the Patriots call timeout, the clock is going to run out here to end the first half.
Score update in the second quarter. New York Giants 10, New York Jets.
Clock is running. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. This will be the last play of the half. Little drop off to Craig James at the 30-yard line, 35, and down at the 40, and that will do it. And the Patriots are not happy with the performance of their football team, as you can hear. they leave the field to a chorus of standing boos.
I'd be upset too. I'll tell you who's probably really upset is the coaching staff. When you have an opportunity to play, you know, and make the playoffs, you've got to be at your best. And New England is not at their best at all right now.
Well, St. Louis has taken it to the Patriots both offensively and defensively, and leading by a score of 27-3. This Cardinal offense, which has had its problems in the last month after the great spurt at the start of the season and toward the middle of the season, certainly showing signs that it's broken out of the slump. And in the defense, and E.J. Jr. have looked all world.
They really have. I think what this game plan has done is they put the onus for winning that responsibility back on the physicalness of their football team, Frank. They're whipping people physically, both offensively and defensively. No finesse. Just knock them off the ball and play football.
Keep in mind, if the Cardinals win their last 3 games, this contest, and beat the Giants and the Redskins in their last 2 outings, and if Dallas loses one of their last 3 games, the Cardinals would win the NFC East. And Dallas, of course, doesn't have an easy schedule. They got the Eagles today, but then they're looking at the Redskins and Miami to finish up. So St. Louis still, despite that 3-game losing streak and the slump, has an excellent opportunity still to capture the NFC Eastern Division. So that's the story here of the first half at Foxborough. That is the end of the first half with the score: the Cardinals 27 and the Patriots 3. All right, and it's halftime with St. Louis leading New England 27-3. Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil, and pretty well total domination by the Cardinals in the first half.
Domination physically and mentally. I really think St. Louis is playing hungrier football. The playoffs might mean a little more to these guys.
Well, it's going to make things very interesting in the NFC East, because the Cardinals, obviously, they keep this play up, are going to be a very big factor in who wins that division.
Next week they have the Giants. You know, that's, and then the Cowboys are due next week. Cowboys and the Redskins.
Cowboys and the Redskins.
Heck of a division. I'm glad I'm out of it.
That happens to be our CBS doubleheader, as a matter of fact, next week. Getting back to this game, great job offensively by the Cardinals, and then that defense led by E.J. Jr. has done a job.
He has been fantastic. You could read the enthusiasm and his desire to play last night in our meetings. Floyd Peters has done a super job of preparing his defense.
Well, St. Louis looks like a lot hungrier football team than New England does.
Well, things happen early in the ball game. You gain that psychological momentum, and all of a sudden more things start going your ways. But I'll tell you that, Frank, I wouldn't count New England out, because they're used to coming from behind, and they have the kind of people that can score from anywhere on the field, and it could happen here in the second half.
Well, both teams are back on the field. We are just about ready for the second half kickoff here at Foxborough between the St. Louis Cardinals and the New England Patriots, and we'll be ready to tee it up for you in just a moment. Second half ready to get underway. St. Louis leading 27-3 as O'Donohue kicks off. Short kickoff, bounces at the 5, fumble by Collins back in the end zone, hesitates and decides to run it out, and gets it out only to the 6-yard line. Or you could see that little hesitation step a yard deep in the end zone. He took a step out of the playing field and then realized, now I got to do it.
Well, he's concerned about the muff rule, whether he muffed the ball into the end zone, whether he had possession. Once he touches it going back in there, now he's concerned whether by rule whether he should or should not bring it out. I think he made the right decision to get it out of there. Didn't want to get tackled in the end zone. They might have ruled that he, pushed it in there.
1st and 10 for the Patriots, who start off with very poor field position at their 6-yard line. Seems like they've been there all day. Deep in their own territory, Eason comes out throwing to start the second half and completes the pass to Stanley Morgan for the first down at the 15-yard line. Take a look at the Patriots' first half possessions, which went absolutely nowhere.
That's unbelievable. 5 plays, 6 plays, 1 play, 3 plays, 3 plays, 2 plays.
And less than a yard to go for
the time of possession rather unreal as you look at it. The St. Louis Cardinals over 20 minutes.
We haven't had a game like this all year, have we, in terms of that kind of domination time-wise?
I don't think so, but we've had a few lopsided games this year.
In fact, I think we're both lopsided the way it's been going all year.
Close enough for measurement. That pass completion, as you watch the measurement, to Stanley Morgan is the first pass that Eason has completed to a wide receiver this afternoon. And that's a good receiving core he's got there.
That's just a lack of emphasis of getting him the ball, probably, rather than coverage.
He's got a lot of 4 or 5 guys out of the wings. Morgan on the left side, Starring on the right. Handoff, Craig James. gets a couple of yards over the left side on second and less than a yard, and picks up the first down for the Patriots at the 18-yard line. Thomas Howard, number 59, on the stop. All right, your ball club's down 27-3. You start the second half. I guess you don't get greedy and put it in the air every time, do you?
No, you don't. Plus, Ray Berry, remember in talking to us the other day, he's talking about we have to teach these guys how to win. A new philosophy. He's new in the program. And I don't think he probably went in the locker room and ran and raved and everything. I think he took a lot of notes. So.
I imagine he did. He told us yesterday so far he's called only one offensive play in the first 4 games. Eason. The blitz was coming that time. Leonard Smith, the strong safety, number 45, shot through there. And Eason went off balance and went down behind the line of scrimmage. Third trap for the Patriots.
Now you're going to see the rush. Tony's going to drop straight back there. He's looking straight ahead in a pedal technique, not turning his shoulder. Now you're going to see the safety. Here he comes, number 45 to the left of your screen. He saw it coming. He did the best thing he could do. Get underneath it. Here it is off the side. Now look at 45. See him coming right here? Tony was not looking at him. He's got to be able to see that guy out the corner of his eye.
Second down, 16. Eason back at the 1-yard line. Gets out of it somehow. Finally lets it go downfield and throws it away. And took a pretty good wrap. David Galloway applying a lot of pressure, number 65. 3 sacks against Eason this afternoon. That means he has been sacked now 19 times in the last 3 ball games.
Frank, he came into the game being sacked 11% of the time they attempt to pass. That's too many times for the quality of that offensive line. You take a look at John Hanna, Brian Holloway, Guy Morris, who's playing center for the injured Pete Brock, Ron Wooten, Darrell Haley. That's some real talented people in there.
Third down and 16, and as far as the Patriots are concerned on third down, but a lot tougher for them than it has for New England on third down so far this afternoon. They keep getting themselves into a hole. Eason over the middle completes the pass out to the 16-yard line, but short yardage picked up on that play. Lynn Dawson, the tight end, number 87, dropped by Thomas Howard, the left side linebacker, number 59.
I really think the quarterback was hoping for zone coverage, stretch the zone, lay it off underneath, and let him run for the first down. But St. Louis came with a man coverage, had everybody covered tight. He caught the ball, but he couldn't run.
Rich Camarillo to do the punting, and he's been punting from around the goal line all afternoon, which means that the Cardinals wind up with pretty good field position every time. Stump Mitchell, who's returned 2 for an average of 18.5 yards. Low snap. Nice job by Camarillo, who got it up.
It's a low one, though.
Mitchell at the 38 to the 45, fumbles the ball, and the Patriots may have a break. It would appear that the Patriots recover at the 45. Yes, indeed. Rod McSwain, number 23, who is a draft pick of the Atlanta Falcons and cut loose. And Craig James caused it.
You can see he tucks the ball away here. Now get it under your arm. Come on. No, there it is. Finally got it underneath his arm properly, like any high school running back should carry it. And it got stuck right there by the helmet of a defender. It's on the ground now. Let's see who gets it. He's got it under. I can't see the number. Who is that?
That's
Frank?
McSwain.
McSwain. Rod McSwain.
Well, he's one of the 3 guys that the Patriots nominated for the special team spot on the Pro Bowl.
Let me tell you, Frank, coming into this ball game, New England has recovered fewer opponent fumbles than anybody in football by far.
But they work on it almost daily. So we observed at practice. First down, Patriots at the Cardinal 45. Moisey Tutupu, who has replaced James in the backfield, carries to the 41-yard line. They actually have a drill that they work on to recover fumbles.
Well, everybody does, but the new head coach here, Raymond Berry, they do it every day now because he just thinks that they've got to attend to the little things, recover those fumbles, and make people aware, such as Seattle Seahawks, Chuck Knox, you know, they have the great percentage of turnover recovery, and the Washington Redskins, he thinks that's all mental and physical emphasis.
Second down. Patriots need 6 for the first down at the Cardinal 41-yard line. Eason on the sprint out. He's got Hanna blocking, wide open, Starring at the 30, down to the 25. First down, New England. Stephon Starring. E.J. Jr. And Washington on the stop.
Starring right there is isolated on Lionel Washington, number 48, who's a fine cover man. He's looking at him pushing now. He pushed him deep, got his shoulders turned. Now watch him come back for the ball, catch it. Now he's going to become a ball carrier. Comes up there, jukes him right there, but good defense following the catch. Look who's there, E.J. Jr.
Well, turnovers, what's killed the Cardinals here for the last month. Actually, in the last 3.5 games, they turned it over 19 times. They went through a flawless first half, and they turned it over here early in the third period. Eason for Starring. Great job defensively on the tip by Lionel Washington. Number 48 got his hand on it and batted it up in the air, so when Starring came down with it, he was already out of the end zone.
That was a nice job by Lionel Washington. They're going after him. Watch the end of the play here. 48. Now watch him reach. He's actually got him. A nice jump catching the ball or batting it down at its highest point. Now he goes ahead and catches the ball, but the field is too short for that one.
Washington, a great defender, and he's got that sore shoulder, and Jim Hadman says, we got to have you in there. Just knock it down, deflected with your one good arm. And he did that. 2nd and 10 at the 25-yard line of the St. Louis Cardinals. Eason goes with the quick throw this time, and he's got the first down and maybe some more as he goes over to the far sideline to Irving Fryer, number 80, the number 1 draft pick of the Patriots this year, who has had some injury problems himself. He's had a shoulder problem and some ribs too, and is going to need surgery on that shoulder after the season. 14-yard pickup on that play. First down for the Patriots at the 11.
There was motion on the play. Now you're going to see Eason looking there. He's going to go ahead and drop back and take this ball. But now watch Eason right here. He's going to drop back just quickly and throw the ball. As he does, the wide receiver is going to catch the ball, and another wide receiver, Stanley Morgan, is going to go ahead and hook him.
Back to live action with Eason throwing it out of the end zone. So the incompleted forward pass will set up 2nd and down as Eason throws that one away. Eason has hit 7 out of 14 for 73 yards at this point. This is the Patriots' most serious scoring threat since the first half, with Craig James ran 73 yards to set up their only score of the game on the field goal. 2nd and 10 from the 11-yard line. They can pick up a first down, but they have to get inside the 1. Starling to the right side, Morgan to the left. Eason looking over the middle, goes to Morgan, can't hold it. Threw a little behind him at the 5-yard line. Stanley Morgan, who was a special project of Raymond Barry when Raymond was an assistant coach with the Patriots. First 4 years that Morgan was in the lead, and Barry, he said, taught him a lot. He wears those scuba gloves, those heavy gloves. You have anything against players wearing those gloves?
No, I think that's, you know, both a physical thing. If they think it helps them, then it becomes a mental thing that, hey, you know, if you give them pink buttermilk, if you think it'll help them play better. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Just let them do it. I don't think it hurts.
Patriots trying to pick up or make their first 3rd down conversion of the day. 3rd and 10 from the 11. They need a touchdown bad. Alley-oop to Dawson. Dawson, touchdown.
He pushed off, Frank.
Oh, I saw that too.
He pushed off.
It looked like he pushed off, and the officials did not see it.
Thomas Howard was pushed off, Art, and he's upset about it. Look at him. He's talking to the official.
Lynn Dawson, the tight end, gets the Patriots' first touchdown, and boy, did they ever need that.
Yeah, the official down there is blind to not see the obvious penalty like that. I mean, he just shoved him. At least it looked like that way from here, and he was right next to it. That's what drives you crazy as a coach when you see that happen.
Eason to hold. Franklin with the extra point try. Drills it through. And the Patriots still have somewhat of a pulse. They trail 27-10. Look at it yourself here.
Let's see if we can see this coming from the end zone now. Take a look at the left side of your screen. Now watch the linebacker at the very bottom corner. See him shove him right there? Definitely. That official, number 77, his name is Don Orr, is not earning his paycheck today. He lays it up there again. You can't see it on this shot, but he comes. You can see the touchdown right there. And right before he caught the ball, he shoved off.
Again, take a look at the touchdown catch here by Dawson and the push-off.
Right at the bottom of your screen, left-hand corner, Dawson took his left hand and shoved on him, gave him the cushion he needed to catch that touchdown pass. And if I were Howard, I'd be upset myself.
Tony Franklin ready to kick off. Stump Mitchell. That's a free ball. Somebody better grab it, and the Cardinals come up with it at the 28-yard line.
That was a poor kick. I've seen a few of those.
That almost worked to the Patriots' advantage. Randy Love finally dove for the ball and came up with it. So the Cardinals will get the football at the 28-yard line with 10 minutes and 19 seconds left to play in the third period. The New York Giants winning the battle for Gotham, leading the Jets 17-0 in the third period. That's the shortest road trip the Giants ever have to make from one side of the field to the other.
There's a different locker room, though.
Yep. They're on the visiting team bench today at their own stadium. Anderson, who had 86 yards rushing in the first half, continues to run it well. Takes it out to the 35-yard line. Roland James, number 38, wraps him up. That last Giant touchdown on an 8-yard run by Joe Morris. 17-0.
Watch the right guard and right tackle here pull and kick out, and then pull and lead as he countersteps and comes back. Really well executed play. See him now. Now watch the guard. Watch Joe Bostic. All right, there's Tootie Robbins, 63, just like you draw it on the blackboard.
Back to live action, 2nd and 3. Pitch, Anderson to the 37-yard line. He'll be short of the first down by a couple of yards. Don Blackman, number 55, the right side linebacker, wrapping it up. You know, talking to these two coaches over the last couple of days, you couldn't find a more contrast in coaching personalities.
No, I know. Well, Jim Haniff and I've known him for an awful long time. You know, he started his coaching career in high school coaching. A real intense guy, a real up guy, and I think he creates that air of intensity and enthusiasm within his squad. Now, that's one of the reasons they're playing so hard today.
And Raymond Berry, very scholarly type.
Yeah, well, he can't get too involved because he hasn't been there.
Big play for the Cardinals on 3rd and 2 at their 37. They fake it to the big guy, Anderson. Lomax gets rid of the ball, and Marsh, the tight end, drops it. So the Cardinals will be punting, and St. Louis is about to, if not let the Patriots back in the game, certainly get the crowd back into the game.
I'd keep running the ball. I'd keep running that ball. Don't change what you've been doing well. Don Blackman, number 55, the outside backer, put the heat on him. This guy is a good football player. You don't read much about him, but he is really a fine player.
Birdsong punted once in the first half, and Irving Fryer, who had that 43-yard return, standing back on his 20. Fryer, number 1 pick from Nebraska, reverses his field. Back to the 15-yard line. Looking for some running room, tried to make the big play, and wound up doing a lot of east-west running instead of north-south. He wound up about where he caught the football at the 24-yard line. 39 yards on the punt, absolutely nothing as things turn out on the return. We've got a timeout with 8 minutes, 41 seconds left to play in the third period here at Foxborough. Well, for you hoops fanatics, we've got a good one for you next Saturday. Number 1 ranked Georgetown and Patrick Ewing against the Nevada Las Vegas Running Rebels from the Capitol Center, live at 1 o'clock Eastern Time right here on CBS. You'll see the top 3 teams in the nation in action over the next few weeks. 1st and 10 Patriots at their 24-yard line. They trail 27-10. Eason throwing out first down. Goes to that sprint out, and the pass is incomplete. And a guy who is still looking for his first pass reception of the day, Derek Ramsey, number 88, who is the Patriots' leading receiver.
And only 4 catches away from breaking the squad record held by Stanley Morgan of 58 receptions. So it's surprising they haven't gotten him the ball. Great pressure that time by Al Baker, number 60.
Ramsey with 55 catches on the year, of course, obtained from the Raiders in the trade for Don Hasselbeck, who has since moved on to Minnesota, the former Patriot, who we'll see next Saturday in San Francisco. 2nd and 10 from the 24. Again, Eason under pressure, lets it go near sideline, caught by Starling for the first down at the 39-yard line. Lionel Washington maybe gave him a little bit too much cushion there.
This Stephen Starling, you have to respect him deep. Now look at him at the left side of your screen. He's coming off good forward body tilt. He's going to get him turned. Now watch him get him turned right there. He thinks he's going deep. Nice job of faking deep, and then he comes back for the football, goes up. Look at him get up there. Good recover, good pass coverage. That's not bad pass coverage. You need help underneath the defense that one.
1st and 10, Patriots at their 39. Moise Tatupu is the setback behind Tony Eason. Tatupu tries the left side, bangs off a tackle at the line of scrimmage and gets a couple of yards up to the 42-yard line. Moise has his own fan club here. A couple of other scores for you. Dallas, 55-yard touchdown pass from Danny White to Ron Springs, leading the Eagles, and the Jets over the Giants over the Jets in the 3rd period, 17-0. And of course, our doubleheader on CBS next Sunday. We've got a real beauty for you. Giants and Cardinals first game, and then the second game, Redskins and Cowboys from Texas Stadium. That's the hottest divisional race going right now. 2nd and 7, Patriots at their 42. Eason, great arm, gets rid of the football, picks up the first down as Stanley Morgan pulls it down at the 49-yard line of the Cardinals.
You know, Tony Eason sets up awfully close to the line of scrimmage, and then if he has to wait for the pattern to develop too long, or it's not there right now, by gosh, you know what, they get to him. He's always got people around him. I'd back him up a little bit more.
Eason wasn't even the starter at the beginning of the season, and he has just set the Patriots' single-season completion record with that particular toss. And those are the numbers on the Patriots quarterback today.
You know whose record he just broke of 228 receptions? Babe Parilli. He was of your time, was he not?
Oh, come now, Babe Parilli. 1st and 10, Patriots. They spotted at midfield. 27-10 Cardinals. 3rd quarter's been New England. Going long for Weathers at the 5. He had it, couldn't hold it. Clarence Weathers, who was a speed burner, been out several games because of an injury, had a step on Lionel Washington, but couldn't hold it.
Here he is on the left side of your screen. This guy is really quick. Now look, he's good for getting on him. He's got him now. He's got him in a foot race. Lionel Washington, 48, pretty good body position. Then he has one more step on him. He's gained it. There's the ball. Actually should have caught the football. He's got to make that catch. And I think he's probably really upset that he didn't catch it. Look at him. Darn it, he's in.
That was a perfectly thrown ball by Eason.
Yeah, I tell you, that guy is quick as a hiccup, that guy. He can really move. I watched him on the field Friday.
2nd and 10, Patriots from midfield. Trying to scramble and get back in this game. Tatupu taking the handoff from Eason. And there's nothing for him there. For an NFL Today report, once again, let's take you to Brent Musburger in New York.
Frank, a couple of updates now on the Dallas Cowboys. Here's the touchdown that you spoke about. White going to Ron Springs out of the backfield. And this play, of course, covered 57 yards. The Cowboys, moments ago, recorded a safety, and now they lead the Eagles 16-3. Back to Frank.
Well, that just makes things that much more interesting in the NFC East, which looks like it's going to go down to the final weekend.
Well, 3rd and 11. Excuse me, Frank. We have the Giants in that final weekend, too.
Patriots at their 49. Eason in trouble behind the line of scrimmage. Gets rid of the ball and completes one.
He caught the ball.
They're going to rule it a trap.
No, he caught it.
One official, I know, ruled it a trap, so we're going to have a discussion. Maybe the officials saw it different ways. But I definitely saw the back judge there, number 21, rule it a trap. That is Pete Lisk, who's an old quarterback.
You got to know the difference. That guy caught the football. Let's take a look at it from the end zone. You'll see E.J. Jr. No one picks him up right there. He gets right up there and flushes him to the outside. See 54? He pushes him to the outside. Tony does a great job of avoiding, gets the ball off. Here it comes right to the ground. He's going for it. He caught the football. He caught the football.
Now, this is a little tough angle to see it from.
Well, I'll tell you this. At least Pete Lisk, as an official, should not be so animate about him not catching the ball. He was behind it. There was a man in position, should have guts enough to say, listen, you're wrong. He caught the football.
One of the Patriots shake it up on the play, and that was Lynn Dawson, the man who caught the ball, who had almost caught the ball, according to the officials, because they are bringing it back to the 50-yard line and rule it an incompleted forward pass. Boy, you sound like you're back in the league again.
Hey, I'll tell you, well, it upsets me. You know, a coach has so many things that he can control, but things like that he can't control. And, by gosh, an official, that... Hey, I don't know.
What did I say to you at dinner last night? What did I say to you? I said, you know, I could never be a coach because you've got to rely on, number one, you got to rely on the officials and their judgment, and you got to rely on someone else to do your living for you.
The one official came up and was going to rule it a completed pass, who saw it all the way, who was in front of the play, and he allows a guy from behind the play to overrule him. Here's another view of the play. You can catch the ball coming down right to the right corner of your screen. See it right there? He caught that ball. I mean, it's a gimme.
Well, that's a big difference, obviously, between a first down.
I tell you, I have lost football games as a head coach because an official made that kind of mistake.
Camarillo does not hit the best punt he's hit all day and puts that thing out of bounds somewhere around the 25, or let's see where they'll mark it. They're holding the ball at about the 28-yard line. We got a marker.
Heaven knows he's got everything going his way because he was right in front of that play. Here's Mr. Silva.
Offense, number 54, illegally downfield, refuse, first down.
Well, I'd refuse it too because the punt only went 23 yards. And the Cardinals wind up with a break and wind up getting the football. We've got a timeout here in Foxborough, Massachusetts. That pass to Dawson, and maybe you can understand what Pete Lisk, the official, was thinking of when that ball came down.
As I look at it now, Frank, I think that was a correct call. Now watch the ball right to the right side of your screen. See it coming down. Now watch it. See it right to the side of your screen, right at the very edge. It's down. He's going to get the ball. He catches it right there, but as he goes to the ground, it drops out. It looks like...
You see it coming out under his left shoulder.
Right underneath. Good call by the officials. Vermeil, you're wrong again.
Oh, angles mean everything in this game.
You know, I make very few mistakes, Frank.
Yeah. First and 10 for the Cardinals at their 28-yard line as we get back to play. There's a fumble. Lomax trying to pitch it out to Anderson. And Lomax recovers the fumble, but you normally don't get things messed up at a pitch out, do you?
No, I think myself that Neal got confused as to the direction. Now, I've seen quarterbacks do that. I think he was thinking the other way.
He was thinking Anderson was going to go to his right.
Yeah, and then he caught himself in the middle. Now watch the quarterback. See, he's flipping it back there. He's flipped it all the way behind him, and Aldous Anderson, 32, just got his back hand on it, his right hand, and the ball's free on the ground. They're fortunate to get it picked up.
Loss of 5, second and 15. Cardinals from their 23. Lomax under pressure gets it away to Anderson. 20, 25, season opening across the 30 to the 34-yard line. 3 yards shy of the first down. And Ernest Gibson, the left corner, number 43, came up to make the hit.
You know who did a real nice job on that play was the offensive center. They get very little credit during football games, but Randy Clark, number 64, worked his fanny off and got out there and got a key block and allowed about 8 or 9 more yards to be made with that play.
Member of the Cardinals defensive unit, Leonard Smith, having a little medical attention on the sideline, some ice being applied, and we'll see whether he's in on the next series of downs. Third down, a long 2 yards needed for the first down for the Cardinals at their 35. Inside handoff, Stunt Mitchell did not get it. Did not pick up the first down, and the Cardinals will be punting with 4 minutes and 25 seconds left in the third period. Don Blackman broke through to make the stop.
Momentum is changing, Frank. You know, St. Louis's poorest phase of their offense today has been on 3rd and 2 and 3. They're going to have to really evaluate that next week.
So Birdsong comes in to do the punting, and Mr. Excitement, Irving Fryer, dropping back deep for the New England Patriots. He's the number 4 punt returner in the league.
He's playing with a shoulder harness, and he's going to have his shoulder operated on in the offseason.
Patriots playing return all the way. Good kick. Fryer at the 20. Up to the 25, flag down. Fryer returns it to the 36, but the Patriots specialty teams are going to be nailed again, and if that's the case, Raymond Berry is going to be $3,000 cheaper, and his wife's going to be wondering where all the Christmas shopping money is gone. There's Raymond.
Look at Ray.
Raymond's saying, why did I ever say that? Huh? Blocking above the back from behind. They've had a couple of those. One of the Cardinals shaken up.
Number 42, illegal block above the waist in the back. Half the distance, first down.
It was Ronnie Lippett guilty of the penalty, and that's Earl Farrell, who's the Cardinals fullback and a member of their specialty teams, who was shaken up.
And he's their starting fullback, really.
3 minutes, 44 seconds left to play in the third period. Raymond Berry, $3,000 lighter in the wallet. Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil back in Foxborough. Once again, the Patriots saddle themselves with poor field position. They'll have a 1st and 10 at their own 9-yard line. And now that I think of it, Raymond Berry did leave himself a little out. And we talked to him about those fines yesterday. Nice fake to Craig James. Eason going long. Trying to tip the ball up in the air was Greg Hawthorne, number 40, the intended receiver. Back defending was Lionel Washington. We talked to Berry. Remember, he said, but we'll have to verify it first on the film. So he's got him an out, right?
Yeah, he has an out.
Yeah. All right, let's bring you up to date on other scores around the National Football League as you look at the coach of the New England Patriots. 48-yard pass from Alfred Jackson from Murawski as the 49ers having problems with Atlanta. Tampa Bay leading Green Bay 14-0. Giants, well, the Jets finally scored now. It's in the third period, 17-3. Give you some more here shortly. 2nd and 10. Eason back at the 1. Berry.
He sets up too close to the line of scrimmage for plays that take that long to develop, it looks like to me.
Curtis Greer, number 75, was in there. He's not dropping back far enough.
Well, if he can't throw the ball right away, then he's awfully close to the line of scrimmage, and St. Louis is doing a good job of taking away his first receiver.
A loss of 9 on that play as we finish up the scoreboard around the NFL for you. Denver and Kansas City, the 2 former Dallas Cowboy assistant coaches in that one. And Buffalo leading Indianapolis, but Colts have come back after being down 21-0. Pittsburgh leading Houston by a touchdown. Officials will mark it at the 2, which will make it a 3rd down and 18 for Eason, who is 10 out of 22 for 108 yards. Cardinals showing blitz. Here they come. Eason gets rid of the ball, trying to go downfield to Starring. Starring thought he was interfered with, and Lionel Washington thought he made a great defensive play, and he did.
I thought he made a great defensive play. Came right over with the hand, knocked the ball down just as he's paid to do. Very good job. This guy, you know, when we saw him against Dallas, was really the best coverage guy I've seen this year. Now you can see he's throwing this ball out of a foxhole. Look at him pedaling back there. Here comes David Galloway, number 65. Look at him get some heat on him. He threw it out. The ball's in the air. Now as you'll pick it up down the left-hand corner of your screen, he goes high and over the shoulder with that arm. Good job.
Camarillo backs up any further. He's going to be punting from out of the parking lot.
You know what he has to make sure he does is not step out with his back foot, because if he does, it's a safety.
Stump Mitchell is standing at the 42-yard line of the Patriots, so you can see what great field position the Cardinals should enjoy here.
Low line driver. He's not
Stump backing up to the 48, to the 50, 45, 40. And down to the 37-yard line. And the Cardinals will put it in play 1st and 10 at the Patriot 37.
You know, Camarillo was on injured reserve, and he's still not punting like the all-pro that he is. He's not getting the height, Frank.
On the last play, the Cardinals will have the ball 1st and 10.
50-yard punt by Camarillo a moment ago, and a 15-yard return by Stump Mitchell, and the Cardinals set up shop at the 37-yard line of the New England Patriots. 2:53 left to play in the third period. Roy Green in motion. Safety blitz. Lomax got rid of the ball, and Anderson apparently took his eyes off it.
Broke his concentration right there. He turned and became a ball carrier before he became the receiver. Had a safety blitz that time.
Next Saturday on CBS, you'll get a chance to see the San Francisco 49ers, one of the top clubs in the NFL, take on the Minnesota Vikings. Remember the last time we were at Candlestick Park?
Playoff game, Detroit Lions.
Pre-game show next week. The NFL Today features the State of the Game, which is going to cover a lot of topics, including a CBS New York Times poll on what fans think of the state of the game. 2nd and 10 Cardinals from the 37. Anderson to the 35 to the 34-yard line. Kind of treatment have the Patriots given Roy Green so far today. They've done a pretty good job holding him in check. 2 catches for 32 yards.
Well, they haven't thrown the ball very much, really. So if you stop and think that Lomax has only thrown the ball, what, 12 times, completed 7. So it's hard to get him the ball many times.
7 out of 12 for 74 yards. Cardinals ran the football so well in the first half, but every yard has been tough here in the 3rd period. 3rd down and 7. And the Patriots are going to call timeout with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left to play in the period. Now, why would a defensive unit call time?
I think there was some substitution breakdown in the nickel defense. See, Blackman's going over, and is Rick Sanford, number 25, going over to talk to defensive coordinator Rod Russ, the silver-haired guy there.
So give us an opportunity to catch up on some scores around the National Football League. Tampa Bay leading Green Bay 14-7 in the 3rd period of play. Got a couple of more for you. The Giants have added a field goal by Ali Haji Sheikh.
You mean the Jets, huh?
No, the Giants. Ali Haji Sheikh works for the Giants. 20-3.
Yeah,
made it 20-3.
I looked down there at the New York Jet 3. I thought they just... That's
so the Giants have a comfortable 17-point lead in the final period of play. Neil Lomax comes over to talk to Jim Hanifin, who is in his 5th year as the head coach of the St. Louis Cardinals. They had the great finish last year. They won and tied. Well, they won 7 and tied 1 of their last 10 games. Really came out with a rush after a very slow start. They got off to a pretty good start this year. Well, they did lose their first game to the Green Bay Packers.
Our production meetings are really a lot of fun with Hanifin, aren't they?
Oh,
I mean, he's so honest a guy. Here's Chuck Banker, his fine special teams coach, right next to him right there. And he's so enthusiastic and so willing to discuss what he's doing. It's fun to meet with him.
He could write an interesting book. All you ex-coaches could.
Might have to X-rate it.
3rd down 7. Cardinals trying to keep it going. And they were going for Roy Green that time, and Green well covered, as you can see.
It looked like they had him doubled inside and outside.
Rick Sanford, number 25, and Ronnie Lippett, number 42. Back defending. So that makes it 4th and 7, a little bit out of the range here of O'Donohue. So the Cardinals will be punting with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left in the 3rd period. Remember, Green told us last time we had the Cardinals against Dallas, he had that inner ear problem, was causing him a little bit of double vision. I saw him at the hotel this morning. He said it still bothers him a little bit, but not nearly as bad. He's caught a lot of balls since then. Birdsong aim it for the near side corner and drops it out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. I would say somewhere between the 10 and 15. They'll spot it at the 16-yard line. That's where the Patriots will put it in play. Our score here at Foxborough, St. Louis leading 27-10 after leading 27-3 at halftime. Other scores throughout the National Football League. Giants 20-10. The Jets have just scored on a 32-yard pass. The rookie Ken O'Brien and the 2nd-year man Ken O'Brien, the Johnny Lamb Jones. Dallas leading Philadelphia in the 3rd period 23-3. Cowboys offense has come to life in the 2nd half of that game, and Cleveland over Cincinnati in the 4th, 17-7. 1st and 10, Patriots at their 16-yard line. Eason, E.J. Jr., number 54, bulldogs him back at the 7-yard line, and Mr. Eason has got another day where he's been sacked 5 times. 6 2 weeks ago, 10 against Dallas, and now 5 times today. And E.J. Jr., number 54, was the man who blew through there.
You know, as E.J. told us last night, he liked to play in the 3-down lineman defense because he gets more rushing. But today they've incorporated him rushing from the inside out of the 4-down lineman defense, and he has really been a pain in the neck to New England Patriots.
That's the understatement of the afternoon, I would say.
I would have lowered the target if we were off the air.
2nd down, 17. Again, the blitz. Junior coming out strong. He gets rid of the ball. It is tipped up in the air, and the pass is incomplete. Lionel Washington, the defender back there, as New England tried to work it downfield to Cedric Jones, number 83. Watch E.J. Jr. on that play.
Watch E.J., number 54, the right side of your screen. Now look at him. He's winding up, and here he comes. He's going right outside of David Galloway, number 65, and he keeps John Hanna, number 73. The all-pro lineman picked him up. I tell you, I would never want to run into John Hanna. He's about the most physical offensive lineman I've ever seen in pro football.
I think E.J. thinks he's Lawrence Taylor.
He'd like to be. He says he can do what Lawrence Taylor does.
3rd and 17. In the last 2 games, the Patriots are 3 out of 25 on 3rd down conversions. 3 out of 25. Greg James, and the fans don't like that call at all. So on 3rd and 17, and Eason having problems, and Eason's beginning to look a little more like a second-year quarterback.
Well, I don't think it's his fault. I really don't. I think everything is sort of collapsing around him, and plus, you have to give credit to the St. Louis defense. Floyd Peters has got those guys playing well. They're hungry. They're getting after it, and they're whipping a physically fine football team right now.
Tom Mitchell to receive Rich Camarillo's punt.
Sometimes the quarterback is not to be the guy that's really at fault when he looks bad, Frank. He takes the blame, but he's not always at fault.
Camarillo, who wouldn't know what he was doing today if he wasn't punting out of the end zone, bounces this one at the 50, takes a Patriot bounce across the 50-yard line and out of bounds at the St. Louis 45. That's a 42-yard punt by the New England Patriot punter. For an NFL Today update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Frank, we've got 13 minutes left in the Meadowlands, and the Jets have closed to within 10 at 2010. Lamb Jones takes the pass from Ken O'Brien. Watch the run. Breaks a tackle. Gets to the outside with that speed of his and goes for his first touchdown of the season. Let's go back to Frank.
Cardinals 27 and New England 10 here in Foxborough as we wind down in the 3rd quarter, which has 43 seconds left to play. O.J. Anderson across the 50 to the 45 and very close to the first down at the 44-yard line. You know, Raymond Berry came into this situation, obviously didn't know the offense or the defense, so he's let the coordinators handle that part of it. And his role in this team at this point has been more or less motivation, has it not?
It has, and he's taking notes and observing. You know, very few head coaches really get to go into a situation and evaluate all the coaches, all the players, prior to his really first year of coaching, because he cannot coach coming into this situation.
Well, I cannot remember a situation where a coach came in completely out of the organization at midseason. Normally when a coach gets fired, they'll bring an assistant up as an interim coach for the remainder of the season. That is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Cardinals 27. Nick Vermeil, welcome back to Foxborough. I noticed you've been doodling over there a little bit. What have you been working on?
Well, I wanted to show the fans what an artist I am as I drew this beautiful picture here. I might as well initial it. Isn't that quite a shot? You didn't know I was an artist, did you?
Moon over Foxborough. And the moon rising early as the St. Louis Cardinals and the New England Patriots head into the final period. The lights have been turned on. It's been a gorgeous day, though, for early in December. You couldn't ask for a better one. 2nd and 1 for the Cardinals. Anderson picks up the first down. And I've got to believe we're looking at the strategy for St. Louis here in the final period to keep the clock rolling, keep the ball in the hands of Anderson. He has great footwork, doesn't he?
He squares up those feet, and then he just bounces into those holes, and he does that as well as any big man in football. You expect the little guys to be able to do that. Yeah, this guy, he has such great strength in his legs. When he bounces, he's liable to bounce right over the defender.
Anderson has now carried 23 times. He has 113 yards. And the Cardinals have a first down at the 37-yard line of the New England Patriots. Earl Farrell, the fullback, is in motion. Again, it's O.J. Anderson ripping through the Patriots, takes it down to the 31-yard line. So the Cardinals keep that clock moving, grinding out yardage on the ground. Again, a look at the play selection and the way things have gone. Cardinals came in the game wanting to run the football. You can see they've done that very well.
They've done it real well. And anytime you run the ball over 40 times, your chances are you're going to win the football game. And here they are running up there 39 already.
2nd down. Cardinals need 4 for the first down at the 31-yard line as Lomax looks over the defense.
Nice
Not much
play.
that time.
Nice play by Tippett. He got around deeper than the trap block. Let's take a look at Tippett, and you'll know why we've been raving about what kind of a football player he is. Andre Tippett, number 56. See him right in the right corner of your screen. Now watch him come on. He's going to get penetration. They're doubling down. The guard comes to trap him, but he gets so much penetration, he beats the guard across and tackles the ball carrier. Nice play by Andre Tippett.
Tell you what gives Tippett away. He is a second-degree black belt karate who started at 13 years of age.
You know why he started? He said, Coach, if you were raised in Newark, you'd be a karate expert too.
3rd and 4 at the 32. Lomax, good protection, and that's going to be good for another St. Louis first down. Pat Tilley, one of the smallest players on the field, sure-handed, great route runner, picks up the first at the 26-yard line. Ernest Gibson, number 43 in the stop. Bring you up to date on a few more scores around the NFL as the Cardinals get ready for this first down play, and the officials will mark it at the 26-yard line. San Francisco, 54-yard interception return by Dana McLemore, and they're in front of Atlanta, 28-17, but Atlanta's given them a battle. And a couple of more for you. Dallas cruising now, late in the third period, leading Philadelphia 23-3. And Pittsburgh and Houston are tied in the third period. O.J. Anderson taking the handoff from Lomax, but finds the door completely closed as he tries the left side. Don Blackman, number 55, and Andre Tippett, the two guys we've been talking about, the great outside linebackers of the Patriots, collaborate to make that stop for a loss of a yard or so in the play. But again, the clock is the ally of the St. Louis Cardinals as it continues to roll with 11 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the game, and the Cardinals leading by a score of 27-10. 2nd and 13 from the 28 of New England. Lomax going to Anderson one more time. Out of bounds inside the 25 at about the 23-yard line. They're down around the range of Neil O'Donoghue. Well, obviously, they'd like to get it a little bit closer at this point.
From the 23-yard line.
His teams have met only 4 times, and St. Louis has won 3 of those meetings. Last time was in 1981.
Steve Nelson, number 57, the inside veteran linebackers, played most of those games over the years. He's been around a long time.
We told you what St. Louis has left schedule-wise with the Giants and the Redskins. The Patriots are at Philadelphia next week, and then they get Indianapolis here in Foxborough. 3rd down, 8 at the 23-yard line. Lomax out of the shotgun. Sideline throw is completed to Stump Mitchell, who goes out of bounds for the first down at the 12-yard line.
Good pass protection. Gave him the time to let that guy work his way free and get open. Stump Mitchell did a nice job. Last week he caught a touchdown against Dallas in that same situation, almost from the same spot on the field.
I know you'd know this. What is Stump Mitchell's real name?
Livona. Livona. I think that's what it is.
No wonder they call him.
Yeah, L-Y-V-O-N-I-A. Livonia.
Livonia Albert Mitchell. A bargain for a 9th-round draft pick.
Great player.
Here's what the Cardinals have done on first play so far. They've run the football most of the time. Chances are that you can see it's translated into a hefty gain of 4 yards plus. From the 12-yard line, they go to the fullback, and Farrell burrows his way down to about the 7. Sanford in on the stop, number 25. They alternate, the Patriots do, Sanford and Fred Marion at the safety position. They're more or less co-starters. One doesn't start one game, he starts the other game. Sanford, another one of those former #1 draft picks on the New England roster. Cardinals have a 2nd down upcoming. They have to get inside the 1 to pick up the first. The ball is at the 7-yard line of the New England Patriots.
This is the time to throw the ball if you're going to throw it. No, they're running.
Stump Mitchell on the sweep, trying to get around the corner. Gets to the 4. They'll set up 3rd. They still need 2 for the first. Raymond Claiborne, number 26, came up to make the stop. Claiborne, a perennial all-pro defender.
Here they are running behind Terry Stevie, 68, and Louis Sharp, 67. Look at 68 coming around on a step-up block. Picks up the linebacker right there, Larry McGrew, nicely, and gives him a chance to get turned up upfield. Earl Farrell, number 31, out in front blocking. That's a fine left side, but I tell you, physically, I don't think it's as strong as Hanna and Holloway on the other side.
Third down. Cardinals need 3 for the first down, 4 for the touchdown. Stump Mitchell behind Lomax. Mitchell down to the 1. He is over. Touchdown, St. Louis.
Did you see Lomax coming off the field, Frank? He came up and he was fired up. He said, boy, we're winning today, and it wasn't all my responsibility.
Earl Farrell, number 31.
Watch him work his way through the holes now. See, they're getting nice block by Louis Sharp, 67. He really is knocking him off the ball. He blocked old Julius Adams, number 85, the 36-year-old, 14-yard veteran, off the football. Nice job by Louis Sharp.
So Stump Mitchell gets the touchdown. A bad snap. Parent gets it down in time. And the kick is good, but let's see if we've got a penalty. Yes, there's a flag down on the play as Raymond Berry looks on. His longest afternoon so far as the head coach of the Patriots. They did lose a tough decision to Denver and a tough one to Dallas last week, but they have won 3 other ball games since he's taken over for Ron Meyer.
Have they beaten
right side of the line, false start, 5-yard penalty.
Frank, have they beaten many playoff caliber football teams? When we saw them play the Redskins early in the end, the Redskins took them apart too.
Well, that's right. They've done well against teams that do not look like they're going to be in the playoffs. When they've gone up against teams who are headed for the playoffs, their record is not nearly as impressive. That's the first time the Cardinals have been penalized today.
Is it really? They actually, the Cardinals through the season have averaged almost 7 penalties a game, or 17th most penalized team in football.
So Donahue will get a chance to kick it again. It's actually the first time that the Patriots have accepted a penalty. We had a couple in there that were declined. This one is blocked.
Steve Nelson, I think, blocked at number 57. I saw them working on their blocks on the practice field, and it was time well invested. To the right of your screen now, you're going to see Steve Nelson break through. See him coming right underneath there. See him right there, 3rd man in. There, he got a good penetration. Nice job by the 11-year veteran. He has 4 daughters that he just made happy.
Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil back in Foxborough once again. Trivia question. Is Stump Mitchell related to Tree Rollins?
Oh, my Christ. Where'd you come up with that one? Well, is that our producer down there that gave you that one?
Yeah. I got another one for you, though. I bet I'll get you on.
Don't use it.
No, this is a legitimate one, and it has to do with Julius Adams, the veteran defensive end, as O'Donoghue kicks off. Collins at the 12, takes it back to the 20, upended at the 22. All right, you know Julius Adams, right?
Right.
36 years old, veteran defensive and oldest defensive lineman in the league.
Right.
The year Dan Deerdorf for the Cardinals gave me this one. The year that Deerdorf came in, played in the All-Star game with Julius Adams, 2 other defensive linemen came into the National Football League who are still active today. Think that one over.
One of them's playing for the Redskins.
Wrong.
No? Oh, you're going to look at your notes and
just
read
think
it.
about it. I got to remember who it was. Neither of them's playing for the Redskins. I know who they are. Here's Eason. Flips it over the middle and completes the pass to Moisey Tutupu for the first down at the 40-yard line.
Real good poise by Tony Eason, just sitting there that close to the line of scrimmage waiting for somebody to come open.
Yeah, I mentioned Dan Deerdorf, former Cardinal All-Pro tackle, is now one of the Cardinal broadcasters. And he pulled that on me on the air in a game on radio here a couple weeks ago.
Was it Jack Youngblood?
Jack Youngblood is one.
And then the other guy has to be Tony McGee.
Nope.
No?
18-yard pickup on that play. I'll give it to you after this play.
I'll think of it.
Eason. Patriots trailing 13-10, and Eason in trouble behind the line, floats it downfield and hits Derek Ramsey. However, we got a marker,
good
and
call.
He may have been beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
He went beyond it. I think then he came back.
Offense, illegal pass, number 11, beyond the line of scrimmage, 5 yards, loss of a down.
All right, you want to give up on the trivia? The other guy?
Wait a minute now.
Jack Youngblood was one. Came up the same year that Deerdorf did, the Julius Adams of the Patriots did.
Now, you know, there's somebody in St. Louis right now watching this game that knows the answer.
Here's me, the passer. Went beyond the line, came back behind the line, threw the pass, merely loss of a down.
Yeah, that is loss of down. Speaking of Dan Deerdorf, there's the great hulking former offensive lineman of the Cardinals on the left, working with our old friend Jack Buck in the Cardinals radio. Hey, guys, you're on TV.
I think Dan put on a couple digits, too.
I think he's still up there in the big time, I'll tell you that.
What a great player he was.
You got one more down. I'm going to give it to you after this one. 2nd and 10 for the Patriots at their 40. Safety blitz that time by Lee Nelson, and Nelson hurt himself as he sacked Eason back at the 32-yard line. Nelson is shaken up. Al Baker came blowing through there as well, number 60. The other guy is Lyle Alzado.
Lyle Alzado. All right, AFC guy. I wouldn't have thought of it.
All right. So much for trivia.
Boy, they have pass protection problems and blitz problems. What they do when they don't handle a blitz well like this, they just invite the people the next week to blitz all that much more, and they've got some problems.
And the thing is, St. Louis wasn't even blitzing in the first half. They were applying the pressure with stunts. 3rd and 18 for the Patriots. Eason again running for his life. 7th sack for the Cardinals.
I'd give the game ball today to E.J. Jr. I wouldn't even have to take a vote. I'd walk in and give him the game ball.
E.J. just stays on the screen, doesn't he, all afternoon?
Boy, is he a football player. He is a great player, and he's made some mistakes in his life, and he's got himself going straight now and going well and making a contribution to the community as well as to his football team, and boy, he's played well today.
Well, he told us yesterday when he was in high school, he said he never thought he'd play college ball, and then he was in college. He said, I could never be big enough to play with the pros. And look what he's accomplished. Camarillo with the punt. Stump Mitchell at the 35-yard line of the Cardinals. Got a flag. As Stump goes out of bounds at the 42. In fact, we got 2 flags. One at the original line of scrimmage, and one where the punt was caught. That'll stop the clock with 7:52.
You know, if I were Stump Mitchell in this situation, Frank, you're way ahead, and you're a punt returner and a very valuable ball carrier. I think I'd just fair catch it, but it's not within his personality. And he's only fair caught 3 balls this whole year. But you would think, hey, the game's over. I've got no sense in taking any more punishment. I'll fair catch this one. He won't do it, though, will he?
Holding is the preliminary indication against the Cardinals after receiving the punt.
Hannon's going to make the other guy pay him. Hannafin will, you know.
Knowing Hannafin, you're right.
On the run back, number 44 on the receiving team, holding. 10 yards, it'll be a 1st down.
Raymond Berry gets off scot-free in the fine department. You know, I have one favorite Raymond Berry story. When he was an assistant coach with the Cowboys, went to Thousand Oaks, the training camp for the first time. You remember what a great meticulous receiver that he was. And I'm going to tell you how that comes out when we come back in just a moment. Cardinals going to try to do a little more surgery on the clock here. 7 minutes and 52 seconds left to play in the game. They have a 1st and 10 at their 31-yard line, and they lead the Patriots by a score of 33-10. And let the Cardinals run this play, and I'll finish that story on Raymond Berry that I started just before the commercial.
I'm really waiting to hear it myself.
I know you are. Lomax off to Anderson, and Anderson gets about 4. All right. First time Raymond Berry, as a Cowboy assistant coach, goes to Thousand Oaks, walks out on the practice field, sees the practice field for the first time. You know how meticulous he was, what a great pattern runner he was. Says something's wrong. Just looking at the field, they measure the field, and the field is 1 foot short. It is 1 foot shorter than it should be.
Can't stand to look at his team right now. He's a little upset. Men, we have problems.
And we'll address this tomorrow. But first of all, come over and meet my wife, you guys. It cost me the $3,000 in fines.
Yeah. Seems like an awfully nice man. I've never been around him before. Enjoyed my visits with him.
2nd down and 6. He's worked under some good head coaches in the past, although he's been in private business for the last 3 years.
Right now, he might wish he was still there.
Yeah. Of course, he was with the Patriots staff, an assistant on that staff that was fired just before Ron Meyer was hired. So it's rather ironic. He goes into private business. Said he got kind of tired of moving around. He had made 6 moves in 12 years and got a little tired of it and wanted to settle down in one place. Decided to stay here, go into private business. But then the call came to be a head coach, and even the great Raymond Berry couldn't turn that one down. That's the amazing thing about it. He said when the owner, Patrick Sullivan, called him, he said he kind of almost felt, reading what was happening to the Patriots, that he might get a call.
He must have been having a few beers with him.
3rd down and 2 for the Cardinals, and Anderson picks up the 1st down.
Look at him. You know, I'd take Anderson out of the ballgame now and let somebody else carry it. No sense of getting him hurt with, 6 minutes to go in the football game. Let somebody else earn his paycheck today.
All right, let's check some other scores out for you. Of interest to particularly the Cardinal fans. Certainly the battles going on in the NFC East as the seconds tick away. I can tell you about Dallas and Philadelphia. For one thing, the Eagles have scored, and that's 23-10. Denver leading Kansas City 13-10 in the 4th period of play. Buffalo over Indianapolis 21-12. And let's see if we have one more for you. Nope, we'll give you that one just a minute or so from now. Philadelphia trailing Dallas 23-10 late in the 3rd period. The pitch to Stump Mitchell. I think Hannafin was listening to you. He took Anderson out of the game, and Mitchell is in there now.
Super linebacker play by Don Blackman, number 55. He just worked inside out on the play and played it as a true linebacker should.
Jim Hannafin resting his star running back, and if Anderson should be through for the day, 30 carries for him for 135 yards, and looks like it's going to be a pleasant flight back to St. Louis for the Big Red.
You bet.
Cardinals doesn't get any easier for them. Their last 2 games are really going to be barn burners. They play the Giants at the Meadowlands. They also play Washington.
Yeah, I don't know where that Philadelphia is.
Philadelphia is no longer a part of their schedule. They're through with the Eagles. Lomax all day to throw it. Can't find anybody to go
Get
to.
on the ground. Boy,
Andre Tippett.
The big thing Lomax has to do, especially with a score like this in those situations, is get on the ground. You are not a coward to get on the ground. They're investing too much money in that guy.
Well, when you consider they got 2 rookies behind him, I mean, he is their indispensable man this year.
Yeah, Rick McIver's thrown 4 incomplete passes in his career, so he sure as heck better get on the ground.
Lomax better stay healthy. He did not get out of bounds, so that's good news for the Cardinals because it keeps the clock rolling. 4.5 minutes now left to play in the game, and a 33-10 Cardinal advantage. Looked like the Patriots might make a little noise there at the start of the 3rd period. But there's no question that the Cardinals have come to Foxborough to play football. 3rd and 11. Lomax. 50, 45, and that time he did get down to the ground, and he's got to be very close to the yardage needed for the 1st down at the New England 45. This is going to be a case of where they spot it. Now we got one game here, Cincinnati and Cleveland, which is going into overtime, tied at 17.
We did Cincinnati, and I really think, in watching Cincinnati with the way they played a week ago, they're physically a pretty good football team and could come on and contest here at the end.
Cardinals are a foot short of the 1st down. Now we'll correct that remaining schedule for you. The Cardinals have the Giants next week at the Meadowlands and then finish against Washington. That is at Washington, that game.
Yeah.
And the Patriots at Philadelphia and Indianapolis. I think we still got it wrong. I think they play the Giants in St. Louis, do they not? We'll get it right, Jed.
Yeah.
Nice kick.
Oh, almost.
Bounds into the end zone for the touchback. However, I think we've got a flag down. Yes, we do. Back at the original line of scrimmage. Going to be against the Patriots.
Fourth quarter update. Denver 13, Kansas City 13.
Yeah, the Cardinals have the Giants at home next week and then play at Washington.
On the kicking team, number 46. Illegal motion, refused, first down.
So first down for the Patriots, who want the football with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left to play in the game. We've got a timeout here at Sullivan Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Dick Vermeil and I'll be back shortly. Cardinals in command, 33-10.
Patriots on offense.
Patriots first and 10 from the 20-yard line. Eason trying to get something going here. He's been trapped 7 times for a loss of 47 yards. Sidearm that one out there to Stanley Morgan at the 25-yard line, and a penalty marker goes down at the point of tackle, and Lee Nelson, number 38 of the Cardinals, very unhappy with the call. Face mask. Nelson's been around a year or two.
Yeah, I tell you, he's a competitive son of a gun, that guy.
He's kind of an overachiever, is he not? Not the greatest physical ability.
5-yard penalty, second down.
I don't know if he's an overachiever, but he is an underachiever or an overachiever or what, but he does achieve. You can see at the right side of your screen, he catches the ball nicely. Now, Lee Nelson, number 38, comes up, and inadvertently, now you're going to see him, he's going to end up with a piece of the face mask. See there? Not on purpose, it just, that happens sometimes.
Cardinals showing blitz and then backed off on Eason. Derek Ramsey with the reception for the first down at the 35-yard line. But the clock continues to roll here on the Patriots, and I think this one is safely in the barn for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Curtis Greer is doing a real good job on the hard outside rush on Brian Holloway, number 76, the fine left tackle.
Eason goes to a safety valve, who in that case was the tight end, Derek Ramsey, who's ripped out of bounds at the 49-yard line of the Patriots. That's a first down for New England, but too little too late here for the Patriots, who now are going to have to hope and pray that the Raiders lose 2 of their last 3 games. It's about the only way now that that New England can qualify as a wild card team from the AFC. They really dug themselves a hole, or they would have been in pretty good shape.
Before you're a playoff team, you've got to play like one. I've seen New England twice. They have not played like a playoff team. That's all there is to it, Frank.
Of course, yeah, and we've seen the Cardinals twice. They've looked like a Super Bowl team.
Yeah. They're going to set a record for sacks in 2 games. That's 18 sacks in 2 games right now.
And if you want to go back 1 game before that, Eason was sacked 6 times against the Colts. So that's 24 sacks suffered by the New England quarterback in a 3-week period. That tackle was Curtis Greer, number 75, the former All-American at Michigan. Second down and 19. Eason going again to Ramsey. Ramsey at the 50, 45. Lionel Washington shoves him out of bounds at the 40 of St. Louis as the Patriots pick up another first down, and the clock runs down to 2 minutes and 3 seconds. So we'll get the 2-minute warning after the next play.
Ramsey's only 1 reception away from the New England Patriot record of 59 receptions for 1 season.
He's had a great year for the Patriots after coming from the Raiders. When Christensen came back into camp, Raiders were loaded with tight ends. They've always had good tight ends, so they let Ramsey go for Hasselbeck.
That really motivated them to go ahead and make the full move to 1-back attack and use him as what they call their H-back, you know, their 1-back, blocking back, that is.
First and 10, Patriots want at least a consolation touchdown here. Eason drills this one, and it's picked off. Intercepted by the St. Louis Cardinals' Leonard Smith.
That's his 3rd interception of the year. Actually, the receiver fell down. You see Greg Hawthorne, number 40, come off. He's a combination H-back receiver. He's pushing down there. It's good shoulder. See, now watch. He falls down right there. Really a nice job by the defender.
That's Jeff Griffin, by the way, with the interception.
Yeah.
Well, the Cardinals would appear to have notched their 8th victory of the year against 6 losses with 1:57 left to play in the game, and We'll pack our bags and head to San Francisco next weekend for the game between San Francisco and Minnesota. Rick McIver has come in at quarterback for the St. Louis Cardinals as the Cardinals simply try to run out the clock. That's Perry Harrington, one of your old boys.
Yes, he played well for me. He had a career rushing average there for a few years at 4.4 per carry, but he didn't make it there this year. Went to Cleveland, got caught up in a numbers thing, and they let him go, and St. Louis Cardinal personnel department was smart enough to pick this guy up. Good football player, Frank. He can play on a lot of teams in the National Football League.
He picked up 4 yards on that carry. It'll be 2nd and 6 for the Cardinals at their 30-yard line. And New England showing no sign at this point of trying to stop the clock and utilize the 2 timeouts that they have left as they trail by 23 points. Boy, the Cardinal rushing game has really been spectacular. Of those 225 yards, 135 by Anderson.
No place to go there.
Harrington on the carry, and we get a flag. As Andre Tippett, who has been in on a number of stops for the Patriots, collects yet another tackle.
They have some other offensive linemen in there. Carlos Scott is in now playing offensive center. Number 56, a big 300-pound center.
You get the impression that we're virtually alone in this stadium.
Yes,
I mean, they have headed for the
82.
They're cold beer and kielbasa. I think that's what they're going for right now.
Decline.
The stadium is really emptied out. Look at this.
Yeah, they play like this too many weeks in a row. It'd be like that at the start of the game.
Illegal motion against the Cardinals, set up a 3rd and 7. McIver is a rookie quarterback out of the University of Texas who wasn't even a regular for most of his last couple of years at Texas. He was just a spot regular. Great arm. Just a real bazooka for an arm. On 3rd and 7, again to Harrington.
Perry can make long runs because he has very good acceleration.
That'll run the clock down inside of 1 minute, and again the Patriots showing no signs of stopping that clock. 4th down coming up. Fryer will come back anticipating the punt. There's Perry Harrington, former Philadelphia Eagle running back. Yeah, he and Wilbert back there for a while.
Yeah, well, I made a mistake. I tried to make Perry a big blocking back in the I formation, and he was one of those guys that's in between a running back and a fullback, and wasn't good coaching on my part.
First mistake you ever made.
Yeah. Thank you, Frank.
Birdsong to do the punting. 20 seconds left to play in the game, and they're going to use all his time off the clock. Snap the ball with 2 seconds left on the 30-second clock. He got all of that one.
Holy mackerel.
Fryer at the 15-yard line. Trying to make something happen down at the 19. As Birdsong really drilled that one. 53 yards on the punt and 3 yards on the return. And the clock is stopped with 7 seconds left to play in the game. And we'll be back with the finish at Foxborough in just a moment. As the Patriots have a 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line after a very disappointing afternoon for them and their fans. They will drop to 8 and 6. Cardinals also 8 and 6, but they're going to be a lot happier about it. Eason still throwing on the last play of the game, goes over the middle to Derek Ramsey, and Ramsey out to the 35 to the 40. That's it.
That breaks the record.
So Derek Ramsey sets a new club record for pass receptions in a single season by a New England Patriot player, breaking the old record set by Gino Cappelletti way back when, but a lot of those really were garbage catches in the end when the ball game was out of hand. The executive producer for CBS Sports coverage of the NFL is Terry O'Neill. Our senior producer, Charles H. Milton III. Today's game produced by Robert D. Stenner. Our director, Bob Fishman. Our associate producer, Richard Drake. Field technical manager, Roxanne Dennett. And our broadcast associate, the capable Pierce O'Neill. And some of the other folks, good friends of ours who we see along the way each week during the NFL football season.
In the 4th quarter, it's Pittsburgh 20.
I know the fans in St. Louis have certainly enjoyed the coverage of this one. Certainly the way the Cardinals came out of the chute to begin with, taking the opening kickoff and then driving some 75 yards for the first touchdown of the game on a drive that ate up about 9 minutes on the clock. That kind of set the tone, didn't it?
Great job. You know, I think Hannafin ought to request CBS that we follow them on the road. We're 2 for 2 with these guys.
That's right. Yeah, and last time we saw the Cardinals, the first game against Dallas, and they looked like world beaters that game.
Yeah, they were the best football team I had seen this year, the way they played that day. And then again today, they backed up that evaluation. They've really played super football.
Lots more to come. Scores, highlights, interviews, so stay with us on the postgame show. St. Louis leading, or rather the final score, St. Louis 33, New England 10.
And they did it easily. The final score in that game was 33-10. It was a gorgeous day up there in Foxborough Irv, and Neil Lomax, well, this wasn't long, but he got the job done.
Really an effective day for him today. This time rolling to his right and hitting Doug Marsh for a touchdown. Yeah, Jimmy wants him to throw long, right?
Now, Craig James will take the handoff right here. Takes a wallop from E.J. Jr., and Thomas Howard standing there, scoops it up and gets on in for the end zone, and then here comes one of the Greeks' favorite guys. Stump Mitchell will take the handoff and get in for another Cardinal touchdown. It was 33-10. Frank Lever covered the action for us up in Foxborough, so let's go up to Frank. Frank?
Brent, we saw a very, very impressive performance by the Cardinals, Dick. That was total domination, wasn't it?
We've seen them twice, Frank, against the Dallas Cowboys and then here, and they've played like a playoff football team both times.
Cardinals know if they win their last 2 games and if they can get somebody to beat Dallas, they can win the NFC East. One of the standouts today, O.J. Anderson, 135 yards rushing in 30 carries, certainly the O.J. of old. We asked him about the 2 games that the Cardinals have coming up to close out the regular season.
Well, we know it's going to be tough. We got New York followed by Washington, and we kind of control our own destiny, as we have said before, and just a matter up to us to do it.
You know, Otis, is
defensively, many standouts. 8 sacks today on Tony Eason, 3 by E.J. Jr.
E.J. Jr. played like an all-pro. He really did. He dominated the football game.
And we put the same question to E.J. What does he think of the Cardinals' remaining schedule down the stretch?
Well, it should be a little bit easier because we know what the Giants and the Redskins can do. We weren't so sure about what New England would do because we never played against them in 3 years. And the thing is that we played New York, a close one up there. We made a couple of mistakes. They ended up pulling it out up there. And we have beaten the Washington Redskins earlier, but the thing that we're going to have to do is be a little more physical. We got to be able to cut down on our mistakes and be able to win these last 2 in order to even get a chance for the playoffs.
You've coached the NFC East. Who's going to win it?
Right now, I think the Cardinals have the most momentum, offensively and defensively.
All right. That's the story here at Sullivan Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Now, let's go back to Brent Musburger in New York.